of the Social Development Commission. Miss Harfia Ferguson, Superintendent of Parcels. Mrs. Grace Sims, Regional Inspector, Maypen Post Office, and other representatives of the Post and Telecommunications Department. Members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Members of the Maypen business community. Representatives of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. Representative of the Consumer Affairs Commission, Mrs. Michelle Curling-Ludford, Regional Officer. Members of the civil society and the various citizens associations. Principals and teachers from various institutions within the parish. Or healthcare professionals from the University of Technology and Dixon's School of Geriatric Nursing. Or interpreter on duty, Mrs. Stephanie McIntyre Groves. Media personnel, to include the Jamaica Information Service, RJR, and the Gleaner. Or online viewers watching our live stream on the GIS platforms. Stakeholders, partners, participants, performers, senior directors, and staff of the Jamaica Customs Agency. Today, I wish you a hearty good afternoon. We're gathered here, ladies and gentlemen, in central Jamaica, in the county of Middlesex, in the third largest parish in the island of Jamaica. We are here in the largest town in the parish, Maypen, Clarendon's capital. Long revered as one of Jamaica's most important agriculture towns, Maypen is located on the banks of the Rio Minno River. The beautiful parish is home to the Moco Mountains. I have to say it nice, I used to say it Moco. But it's the Moco Mountains. And the alluvial plain, the Ver Plain. Clarendon has produced some world movers and shakers, like, of course, Faye Ellington, noted journalist, broadcaster, and television presenter. And, of course, Claude McKay, Jamaican writer and poet, and who was a seminal figure in the Harlem Renaissance. And how can I not mention the Humble Lions Football Club? Yes, home to the Humble Lions Football Club. And the name Michael Henry rings loud with the mention of the football club. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you on behalf of the Jamaica Customs Agency, the Commissioner, Mrs. Velma Ricketts-Walker, the CEO, and she's represented here today by Mr. M. Angelo, Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations. I'm going to invite the senior directors and the directors of customs just to stand and be acknowledged, to face the people. These are the people who are making life nice and cool for you when you come through the airport and clear your goods at the ports. They're not standing. Oh, come on, please stand. All the senior directors and directors. Please turn around and face the audience. Remain standing while I introduce you. We have Mrs. Selena Clark-Graham, Senior Director in charge of Kingston Operations. You may be seated. We have Ms. Chandelaine Davis. You hear the big name? Ms. Chandelaine Davis. She is the Senior Director in charge of International and Industry Liaison. We have Mrs. Patricia Wigan Chambers, Senior Director in charge of Executive Services. And we have Mr. Kevin Carter, Director for Marine Wharves, and my director. Lord, him is a hard taskmaster. We have Mr. Alwyn Nicely, Deputy Commissioner in charge of Border Protection. Wave your hand. He's the tallest gentleman in the room today. Is anybody in here taller than he is? Stand if you're taller than our Deputy Commissioner. Nobody. No, man, sit down. No, you're not tall yet. We have Miss Jessica Bell, Senior Director in charge of Human Resource Development and Management. And we have Mr. Cassell Dunkley, Senior Director in charge of Border Protection, falls on the Border Protection Unit. We have Ms. Winsome Witter, President for the Maypen Chamber of Commerce. Where is Ms. Winsome Witter? Oh, yes, that's a pretty lady there. Yes, in that lovely gray dress. All right. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you all to maintain a posture of reverence, to assume a posture of reverence, rather, as we invite Reverend Gary Knowles, Chairman of the May Ministers Fraternal, to pray.
Let us pray. God of all borders, airways, waterways, both local and international, out of chaos, nothingness, and void, you call forth the air, land, and sea to take its place on earth. You organize and fashion all things and all people for your purpose and for your will. We come, Lord, at this time acknowledging the fact that you are God and all things act and all things operate according to your will. As we come at this time in partnership with the customs agency of this our wonderful island of Jamaica, we come as various persons across different borders, coming, oh Lord, to share, to facilitate. We come, Lord, together to work, to build, so that this, your country, can be a better place for all its citizens. So as we come, Lord, may your holy presence be here with us. We ask, Lord, that in the discussions, in, Lord, the different things that will take place, the items, the different things that will be shared, that all things, Lord, will be to your benefit and the benefit of your people. So, Almighty God, we commit everything into your care and ask, Lord, that your will be done. And at the end, Lord, may we say that it was good to be here, for truly your presence was here. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend Gary Knowles. A name synonymous with the Bahamas, the Knowles, a very famous Bahamian name. I'd like to acknowledge the resource persons from the Customs Meets the Community initiative. I'd like to acknowledge them at this time. As I call your name, I'd like you to stand and be acknowledged. We have Kenisa Morris. She's the Manager for Internal Affairs Unit and Anti-Corruption. Kenisa Morris. Right. Mr. Kirk Hansen, Air Cargo NMIA Courier Services. Mrs. Cheryl Malcolm Johnson, Supervisor, Returning Residents Unit. Ms. Vel Marie Salmon, Customs Supervisor, Parcels Post. Mr. James Glanville, Legal Affairs, Repeal and Replacement of the Customs Act. Our invited representative from the Post and Telecommunications Department, Ms. Harfia Ferguson, Superintendent of Parcels. And I'd just like to acknowledge the Jamaica Customs Agency's choir. They're here. Please stand, choir, and be acknowledged. Oh, yes, we have choir. Who asked if we have choir? Who asked that? Is not the mayor? Sir Mirage? We have choir, and some of them have been to Mitchelltown. Yes. Right, and yes, they have a street named after Mr. Mirage, the Winston Mirage Street in Mitchelltown. Yes, that's in Clarendon, right? Am I right, Sir Mayor? Am I right, Sir Mayor? You have to sanction it, you know. You want the people to know about Clarendon. That town I come from, but I know about Clarendon. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having remarks, and that will be coming from the Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations, Mr. M. Angelo, representing the Commissioner of Customs. Put your hands together and make him welcome.
Residents of Clarendon, how are you? I was just going to ask the MP which parish the MC which parish he's from, but he first met it, right? Because I know he's not from Clarendon. A pleasant good afternoon And let me first of all apologize for our Commissioner of Customs, Ms. Velma Ricketts Walker, who unavoidably is absent today. Reverend Anthony Wallace, representing the Custos of Clarendon, the Honorable William Shaguri, His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Winston Maraj. On his way, the Honorable Michael Henry, Member of Parliament, Central Clarendon, Ms. Zulika Jess, MP Caretaker, Central Clarendon, Damian Young, Local Economic Development Officer, Clarendon Municipal Corporation, Reverend Gary Knowles, Chairman, Maypen Ministerial Fraternity, the Reverend Canon Winston Thomas of St. Gabriel's Anglican Church, Reverend Norman King of the Open Bible Church, Maypen, councillors representing your respective divisions, Dr. Christine Hendricks, Executive Director of Jamaica Council for the Persons with Disabilities, and representatives from the Maypen Unit Class for the Deaf, the Clarendon Group of Disabled, and all persons here with disabilities. Ms. Nadine Preddy, CEO of Lionel Town Hospital, Mrs. Lennis Baker, Chief Public Health Inspector, Mr. James Lee, Deputy Superintendent, Jamaica Fire Brigade, Mr. Baldwin Mackenzie, Parish Manager for Social Development Commission, and other representatives of SDC, members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, members of the Maypen business community, Ms. Arthea Ferguson, Superintendent of Parcels, Mrs. Grace Sims, Regional Inspector, Maypen Post Office, and representatives of the Post Office, of the Post and Telecommunication Department, representatives of Jamaica Manufacturers Association and Exporters Association, that's one body, representatives of the Consumer Affairs Commission, members of civil society and various citizens associations, principals and teachers from various institutions within Clarendon, or volunteer healthcare professionals, panelists, presenters, resource persons, and our interpreter, media personnel, our online viewers now watching via the GIS website and on its social media platform, Twitter, Facebook, live on YouTube, shareholders, partners, participants, performers, and my special customs team, some of whom were already introduced, from Portland, Montego Bay, and Kingston. Greetings on behalf of customs. The mayor told me that after I finish read this, I maybe don't have anything to say, right? Right? That's what he said a while ago. But nevertheless, the Jamaica Customs Agency is once again excited to disembark, this time in Maypen, on our journey. And this is basically our sixth stop. We have 6 stops. And we are in Maypen. This is one of our flagship initiatives. In May 2017, the customs team made its debut visit, and that was in St. Elizabeth, the Basket Parish. We disembarked subsequently in the historic town of Spanish Town, St. Catherine, then to the Green Parish of Portland. We continued to the parish of St. Anne and leaving our footprint in Westmoreland. So the Jamaica Customs Department is indeed meeting the community. This public education initiative has allowed us to enhance our communication and outreach activities, increase public awareness about our mandates and functions, and provide information about customs policies and clearance processes and procedures. Customs Meet the Community provides a platform for you, our stakeholders within the parish, to come together in one place, as we are now doing, to receive information, and for our team that is here today to give much needed feedback. It is for this reason we decided to embark on this initiative in the first place with the aim of reaching you wherever in Jamaica you may be. As is customary on our parish engagements, we invite a border protection or regulatory agency to be part of the session. Today we have partnered with the Post and Telecommunication Department, otherwise known as Central Sorting Office. And I am quite sure that their booth representatives and resource persons will be more than happy to assist you with any concerns or questions you may have about sending or receiving through the Postal Service of Jamaica. The Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association is also on this leg of the journey and will provide you with relevant information if you are in business and is interested in manufacturing or exporting. Many business entities in Jamaica have received incentives on the importation of raw material using manufacturing and also for the export market. The Jamaica Customs Agency, we stand firmly on this motto, country above self. And when we say country above self, our staff will tell you we actually mean country above self. We stand firmly with our motto, country above self, and our core values of customer-centric, accountability, professionalism, integrity, and transparency. In customs, we call it CAPIT. As we remain committed to our mandates of facilitating trade, protecting Jamaica's borders, and collecting the much-needed revenues on behalf of the government and the people of Jamaica. It is by executing our mandates effectively and efficiently that we can become a global leader so that we stand among the best customs administration in the world. And Jamaica Customs, we strive not only to be the best in Jamaica, the best in the region, but also the best custom administration in the world. In this respect, we have sought ways to improve our overall efficiency by investing resources in several areas within the agency in order to improve our operational procedures and border protection capabilities. And I dare say, in our society that we live now, our border protection capabilities are equally, if not even more important than some of our operational capabilities, because we have to ensure that Jamaica is a safe and secure society. In executing our capabilities, whether it is operational or border capabilities, we want to ensure that we have compliance among businesses, among our partners, and among you, the stakeholders. The agency recognizes that enhancing compliance is critical to protecting the nation's purse, and we have instituted several mechanisms in support of this, such as improving and ICT capabilities. And at Jamaica Customs, we are big on information and communication technology. Expanding our trade facilitation initiatives, we're also very big on that, and strengthening our internal assurance mechanism to ensure that we're operating in the way that we should. And also transforming the agency legislative process. And we have persons here today who will tell you about our legislative reform process as it pertains to our repealing and replacing of our Customs Act. After this session in Clarendon, we expect you to have a better understanding and appreciation about our overall functions as an entity and also of other agencies with which we work, such as the Post Office. And by extension, we trust that you will also share what you have learned with other persons. I am once again very pleased to see a huge turnout, and this is in fact a huge turnout, of the disabled community. Your presence was also seen in the parish of Westmoreland. And at Jamaica Customs, we do in fact employ some persons with disability at our entity. Clarendon, we are happy to serve you, to listen to you, not just to serve, but to listen, because it's by listening our service will improve, to get your feedback, your comments, concerns, and your recommendations, most of all. So on behalf of the Commissioner of Customs, management team, and the staff of the agency, I thank you for participating in this engagement. We trust that you will have a very informative, interactive, enjoyable, and eventful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lowe. Usually I would thank my very well-dressed Commissioner of Customs, and shower her with some praises. I have to reserve that for today. All right. Thank you so much. Let me welcome the panelists. We have Mr. Kingsley Henry. He is the Director for Cargo Imaging at the Jamaica Customs Agency. Mr. Henry, raise your hand, sir. And next to him, we have Mrs. Naomi Goldburn-Rodney, Manager for Kingston Wharves at the Jamaica Customs Agency. Right. Our other panelist is on her way. She will be introduced as soon as she gets here. Just to inform you that we are live on GIS, www.gis.gov.jm, and to inform our listeners and viewers that you can log on to the different social media channels to find out what is happening. So that's the GIS live website, as well as Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live. We also invite our online viewers to submit questions and to give feedback. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will be getting greeting from Mr. Anthony Wallace, Justice of the Peace. He is here representing the Custos of the Parish, the Honorable William Shuguri. Put your hands together for Mr. Wallace.
Mr. Moderator of this evening's function, His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Winston Maraj. Our MP, Mr. Michael Henry, is not here as yet. Mrs. Jess, MP caretaker for this constituency. Deputy Commissioner for Operation, Mr. Marlon Low. Persons from the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, Reverend Knowles from the Ministers Fraternal, Ministers of the Gospel, Reverend Canon Winston Thomas, Norman King, Dr. Christine Hendricks, Executive Director of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, and representatives from the Clarendon, from the Maypen Unit Class for the Deaf, and the Clarendon Group for the Disabled, and all persons with disabilities. Other stakeholders from the hospital or the health services, fire brigade, SDC, police, post office, business community, media, schools, friends, ladies and gentlemen, children, good afternoon. It's a long list. And I'm tempted to say all protocol observed. But somebody said, no name so. So I'm very careful. On behalf of the Custos of Clarendon, the Honorable William Shuguri, who is absent this afternoon, I rise to bring you warm greetings and special welcome to the parish of Clarendon, to the Jamaica Customs Agency, in their forum this afternoon, not country above self, but rather custom meets the community. On behalf of the Custos and the people of Clarendon, we want to say how pleased we are to associate ourselves with you and to be a part of this engagement. Mr. Moderator, you have said a lot of things about Clarendon, and I thought you were from this parish. So it's a testimony that our parish continues to be a great parish. The large audience this afternoon speaks volume of our engagement and our interest in this function. We have come to increase our awareness about custom and procedures and processes, and you are doing this through information sharing. I know that for many of us, Christmas is this time when the custom will see us, and you will see us, sir. We know your organization plays a critical role in the life of our nation, not just in terms of goods and services, but also in protecting the borders of our nation. And indeed, we have been so many challenges. We know your tasks are many and they are varied, but we have also seen improvement in many areas in your department. We do hope that our people here in Clarendon will work with you to make this nation a safer and a more productive place. May God bless our engagement this afternoon, and I hope our engagement will be insightful, informative, educational, and helpful. God bless you and the day's activities. Welcome to the great parish of Clarendon.
All right, each time these people come up here, I have to keep adjusting the mic. I'm going to keep all the short people. Let them speak from down there, right? Thank you so much for representing the Custos, Mr. Wallace. Thank you so much, yes. And we feel the Clarendon welcome, eh? We feel the Clarendon welcome. Welcome to the great parish or the greatest? Who said the greatest? You don't know the greatest parish? Which one is the greatest? Are you sure about that? How many of you hungry? None. I'm glad you know, so no food, no there food, no. Me pack up the whole of the food. Remember when I talk, so no hungry, no. I go say it again. Anybody in here hungry? Yes. Eh? It's yes, sir. Where are the school children in the where are the school children? Not the yes, they're here. Yes. Who's in charge of the school here? Where's the teacher? Where's the person in charge? You? Come and let me ask you a few questions. She can talk? She's hearing? Right. School is free? The children go to school free? You still need money to run the school. They have to pay, but not enough. You can't, yes. And most of them don't pay. All right. So today your problems are solved. Come here. After today, I'm going to give you my number. You call me, make me follow up. I have somebody at the Glen, CVM and RJR and TVJ. We can publicize it for me. I was waiting for the MP to come. But like him today, I'm sorry for the poor mayor. You go to him and make you know, say, Mr. Mayor, the school is in need of some help. Okay, sir? So may I beg you help them. All right? The school is in need of some help. And them need some help. So may I beg you help them. All right? Nice. And Clarendon, a big parish, you know. You see, you know, get Miss Universe, third place winner in Miss Universe. You remember her? You know her? You remember her? What's your name? What's your name? Davina Bennett. Which part you come from? Mitchell Town. No history, man. What else now? Which other Clarendon person is carrying Jamaica's name abroad? Don't you know? Who? Dalton Harris, yes. Who is Dalton Harris and the X Factor? Yes. Which part of Clarendon he come from? Sanguinity Clarendon. What we don't know the history. But Clarendon people bright, man. You know, no bright, so. Who is the Minister of Finance? Thank you, Sugar. Can know, so Clarendon people not pay bills, you know. Then I know the finance minister. Who don't like pay bills and taxes. That's true. Dr. Nigel Clark, yes. All right, just reminding you, those persons who were given a questionnaire, you have a questionnaire, please remember that you are to complete it. When you're finished, they may be collected from you or you may leave them at the customs booth outside. But I prefer if the customs personnel collect them from you. All right, because, you know, Clarendon people don't like giveaway, no, not true? No, so, no, hear this song. What the group name say? St. Catherine woman, them love baby, but then them life intelligently. Clarendon woman is a serious lot. Them no like giveaway, dumb love. And so I go. And so I go. Clarendon woman loves style and fashion. I said go. You don't know this song, no? All right, that's true. Yes, you're right. All right. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be taking an item from the MAPEN unit class for the deaf. Let me just give you a brief history on the MAPEN unit class for the deaf. They are optimist orators in the speech competition for the deaf and hard of hearing junior and district champions for 2018. They are overall winners in the JCDC National Deaf Dance competitions, and today they will be performing Israel Houghton's song, I Am Not Forgotten. Put your hands together for the MAPEN unit class for the deaf. All right, and if you want to applaud them, after you applaud them via this medium. This is how they applause, right? Right, so if you want to applaud them, no matter me, no need a clap. Right? After they have performed, you do this. All right? So put your hands together again for the MAPEN unit. Lord, Mr. Anthony. Lord God, you look like MAPEN man, then deaf. The short man, them in a MAPEN. All right. That was well done, wasn't it? Put your hands together and make them welcome. Nice, nice, nice. All right, you can't clap now. Nice. I tell you, I tell you, there's nothing that we can't do once we try. Not true? God can, eh? All right, at this time we have some questions from our Facebook listeners and viewers. I have one question here. The question is asked, should a customs officer go into your handbag? And this question is coming from Sandra Esser. All right, so Sandra, under the Customs Act, Section 57, to be exact, that section gives us the right to even search a person, to effect a body search. And so I think that is even more personal than the handbag. So yes, customs officers can search your handbags if they have a reason to do so. All right, so next time, Sandra, the customs officer asks to see your handbag, you should oblige the customs officer. All right? We know that many things are in there, and we know that a handbag for a lady holds even a house sometimes. I don't know sometimes how so many things hold in a lady's handbag. It's true. So men, be careful when a lady asks you can carry this handbag for me, please? Please, straight muscle up, right? Because it's not going to be light. But yes, Sandra, we can examine a passenger's handbag. All right, there's also a question, also from Sandra, from our Facebook listener and viewer. When will you coming to Hanover? Hanover, that will be promulgated in the media. So as soon as we're coming to Hanover, it will be highlighted in the media. So stay tuned, Sandra, and get all the Hanoverians together as we're coming to Hanover soon. All right. Thank you so much. We continue to field questions. We'll field some more after we get greetings from His Worship the Mayor of Mapin, Councillor Winston Mirage JP. Put your hands together for him.
Excuse me, Mr. Barrow, but can I adjust the mic? And let me just tell you, if my counselor from the Moko division was here, see, he would have been the tallest person in this room. Yes. Okay. Let me, of course, recognize Reverend Anthony Wallace, representing the Honorable Custos Billy Shaguri. And, of course, we have all the other agency reps here. I mean, that long list that you had to read out, Deputy. Yeah, right? Yes. And the list has already been established. Good. So we all know who is here. But I have to welcome the Customs Agency to the town of Mapin and to the parish of Clarendon, headed by, of course, your Deputy Commissioner Lowe. It's indeed a pleasure to have you here. Eh? And when we heard that you are coming to Clarendon, we said, oh, that's such a good thing. Custom meets Clarendon. And we have seen that you have been to other parishes before. I must say that a lot of us don't know exactly what the roles of customs are, even though a lot of us travel through the airports and the ports, the seaports. And we are always quarreling with the custom agents, right, the officers. Good. And after having all these presentations today and these many jokes from Mr. Barrow, I do hope that our people of Clarendon will have a better relationship with the customs agency when they travel, right? Isn't that so, Clarendon? Yes. You see how nice they are here today? Yes. They are going to be nice after this to you. Right. Yes. We do have some good engagements, and we do have some bad experiences, right, with customs. Good, good. Having been from Mitchelltown, sir, and I see you know a lot about the parish. Good. I'm aware that customs officers are all over the place because I'm from next door to the Jamaica shipping port. So I know that customs officers visit the port. And I used to work at the Salt River sugar shipping wharf. And I know that customs officer used to be there as well. So I'm aware that you have customs officers all over the place, even undercover uniform, right? Yeah. See, I told you, just like the police, they have to watch out, right? So we are really happy to have you here in our parish and to tell you that our parish is in building mode right now. And we are working together in building the parish of Clarendon. Oh, sorry, Madam Jess. Sorry, I just see you. See, I've been scanning, you know, but the list was, you know, very long. Right? Yes. And so we are in building mode, customs officers. In the town of Maypen, the Clarendon Municipal Corporation has been partnering with a number of other agencies and the business people in the town of Maypen. So we'd like you to take care of them when they're bringing in the stuff here, because we are working together to build the town, not only the town of Maypen, but we started with the town of Maypen, but we're working together to build all our towns and communities in this parish of Clarendon. So once again, I'd just like to say welcome to you all, and do hope that when we leave here this evening, we will have a better relationship with our citizens and your agencies. Okay, your agency officers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, His Worship, the Mayor, Mr. Winston Mirage, and thank you so much. And yes, so I see him alluding to the fact that Clarendon people are the nicest people. It's true? A true not talk? Sure? Clarendon, you come from Naomi? That's why you stay so. So Clarendonians are 100% the nicest people. In 200% in the island of Jamaica. Is who said that? Miss Gleena? Oh Lord, she need help. You think me don't know, you know? Yes. Yeah. All right. So I bet some persons will disagree, don't it? Say Kingstonians are the nicest and St. Catherine people don't. Eh? They're not? Oh boy. I have some questions here. We have some giveaways and some questions here. If you know the answer, the first person to raise his or her hand, right, you will be acknowledged and you will be given a chance to answer the question. All right, we have some giveaways, so I have 3 questions. So if you can answer the question correctly, you are in for a big surprise and a nice gift. A gift that you can use, because in recent times, I see where it is needed if you live in Maypen, and in particular the parish of Clarendon. What is the name of this customs activity? I see a lady. Come for me, you. The lady in red, yes. Please step forward. Step forward. No, the Clarendon women are shy.
Customs meet the community.
What is it called?
Customs meets the community.
You sure? Are you 100% sure? How sure are you?
200%.
Why, no 100 na there, una give a 200 and given a school in Maypen. All right, is she correct? Yes, she is. Put your hands together for her. Customs meets the community. That is it. And she wins for herself a lovely blue umbrella to complement her lovely red dress. Yes, and you know you have been having rains in recent times. Not true? So no wonder the umbrella, especially like our hair looks so long. And you know long hair is expensive. And it not look like a Jamaica, it make it look like Brazil. I tell you a joke about Brazil, you know. You have a church here in Jamaica where 2 church sisters can't live good. And one of them decided to do something to the other one. So they got a strand off. One of them got the strand of one of the church sisters here and carried to an Obia man. And months passed and them not say nothing happened to the church sister. Guess who the Obia reach? One somebody in Brazil. So if I were Jamaican women, would I buy foreign here and wear? All right, we have another question. This is, I would like you to name 2 restricted items. Can anyone name 2 restricted items? Your hand went up first. Please step forward and name your 2 restricted items.
Good afternoon. Guns and knives. And we also restrict food, right? Certain kind of food.
I'll ask the Deputy Commissioner to tell me if you're correct. Is she correct, Sir Deputy? Food is very... She said guns and knives initially. Yeah, she said guns and knives. But what kind of food we restrict? Now, tell me. Tell me what kind of food, rice or flour?
Not rice and flour.
Which one?
Talking...
Oh, fruits. You said food.
Said fruit.
A fruit, you say? You have listong? All right, she said guns and knives, so she's correct. Put your hands together for her. Yes. And I notice how Jamaica Customs keeps in touch with... Come here. Your mayor will be happy to see you winning this one. You see the color of the bow? Yes, and it matching shirt. All right, we have another question. What is the flat rate? That is the minimum cost to clear a barrel. That hand went up first. Yes, the lady from Brazil. We have another Brazilian here.
$6,500.
Jamaican or US?
Jamaican.
6,500 Jamaican can clear 1 barrel? You sure Jamaican and not US?
Yes, Brother Bobby.
Yes, Brother Bobby. Brother Bobby was an Obia man, me know, you know. So who you know? Lord Jesus. All right, Marsha. And a Brazilian, a Peruvian, here she wear. Yes, Marsha. Oh, she has one for herself. It is indeed $6,500. Boy, I tell you, it's a small world. She's actually my in-law. Sure. I can't deal with you no more. I make me go ball out the name. Sure. Ah, boy. Put your hands together, put your hands together, put your hands together. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to be hearing from Ms. Zuleika Ages, MP Caretaker, Central Clarendon. Put your hands together for Ms. Jess.
Well, fortunately for me, I don't have to adjust the mic downwards. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not propose to run the risk of forgetting anybody. I agree with Mr. Wallace, I agree with Mayor Maraj, that the list is indeed a very extensive one. And so I am not afraid to say all protocols observed. I rise to bring you greetings, and I must confess that I am indeed delighted and I'm extremely happy to be here in this capacity today. Mr. Moderator mentioned earlier that Mayor Maraj would be delighted to see the color of the ribbon on the umbrella, but I have to confess I'm extremely delighted to see the color of the shirts that Jamaica Customs wear. And so I think I've won that round, Mayor Maraj. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me first and foremost to welcome Jamaica Customs to the parish of Clarendon in general, and in particular to the town of Maypen. I am indeed happy to be a part of this engagement session, which has been so aptly dubbed customs meets the community. The truth is, I believe it is a fact that cannot be disputed that customs is one of the most pivotal, one of the most important agencies, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood ones. I know many of us, myself included, would have had the unfortunate experience of ordering things online, whether it is Macy's or Fashionista or whichever online store you like, only for it to get here and you are told that you have what we consider a ridiculous price to pay. And so the truth is, customs affects us in each and every facet of our lives, whether it is through leisure, whether it is through business, or even in our charitable enterprises and endeavors. As many of you know, I'm also an attorney. Well, I was an attorney long before I became the caretaker of a central Clarendon. And so one thing that stood out to me, I believe it was 2013 when there was an amendment to the Charities Act. And so many of you would have been accustomed when you get things from overseas for your charities to simply turn up at customs, and once you have a letter from tax office, you're good to go. But there have been significant changes in the law, changes which many of us might not understand, many of us need to get clarity on. And so I'm happy to know that customs is here in the community to answer all our questions and to allay our fears. I'm also happy to have customs here because, like was mentioned by previous speakers, customs plays a very important role in our national security. Customs ensures that our shores are safe and secure and that contrabands are not let in to our island. And so it's important that we understand the role that customs plays. And so I want to say, I don't know, perhaps Mayor Maraj would be in a better position to say, considering his vintage and my recent ascension to this post, but I can certainly say in my experience, I've certainly not been aware of any forum of this nature in recent time in Maypen, Clarendon. And I'm happy to hear. Thank you, Mr. Wallace. And so I must say thank you to the team from Jamaica Customs for bringing customs to the community of Maypen. And I want to say thank you to the residents of Maypen, Clarendon in general for coming out, because I'm sure you are going to be hearing quite an informative engagement session. And you can tell that it's already engaging and very entertaining, but I'm sure you'll also leave better than you came. So thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Zuleika Jess, and what an effervescent personality. Not true? Yes, Mayor, look like you're jealous. You want her on your team, eh? We have a legal team at Customs, Ms. Jess. James, you can talk to her. Maybe there's a position. Yes, unfortunately, the Member of Parliament, the Honourable Michael Henry, is off the island, and today he will be represented by Councillor Joel Williams. Councillor Williams, it has dealt us a terrible blow for Mr. Honourable Mike Henry not to be here, because I was waiting to introduce him as having attended the most prestigious high school in the island of Jamaica. You know, is it school that counts? Eh? Beckford and St. Mary. No. Continue. Who said that? You are a brilliant woman. You deserve a prize. Somebody give her one of the big baskets up there, so. Bright, bright woman. I hear somebody say 40. So what name, so? When my granny used to get in that trouble, she said, I beat you, no? So, I don't want to associate with that, the school there. St. Jago all the way. And Councillor Williams, I see you mouthing Beckford and Smith. Yes. So it was Beckford and Smith and Cathedral High School for girls. And in 1744, they merged to form the prestigious St. Jago High School. All right, please come, Councillor Williams, put your hands together and make him welcome as he represents our MP.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremony. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, your worship, the Mayor. everyone who gathered here this afternoon. I want to take this opportunity, as I've heard that Your Worship has already apologized for Minister. He's not here with us this afternoon, and so I'm trying to do that which she should have been doing this afternoon. Apologize for him again once more. It is indeed a pleasure to have the custom with us again. And I say again because I've had the opportunity a few weeks ago when they visited the Clarendon Municipal Council, and I've had the opportunity to interact again with you when you address a member of staff address the Chamber of Commerce. So I am now interacting with you again for the third time within 2-3 weeks. It is indeed a pleasure. I'm very not too happy that I've not seen more business persons here this afternoon who have many challenges as it relates to the various aspects of the customs service from time to time. I would have expected that a number of them would have been here this evening to have your answers or to get the answers to some of the challenges that they have. But I must commend the custom for this exercise this afternoon. You are now taking custom to the people rather than the people coming to the custom. It is indeed a very heartening exercise because when you look around, a lot of people, young men, young women, some of us getting into businesses. And we use this as an exercise to make sure that when you go to the custom, when you send things from abroad, or when someone sends stuff to you, you have an idea how to go about getting your various issues sorted out. So again, I want to take this opportunity. I want to say welcome to Clarendon. It is indeed a pleasure. I'm hoping that those of you who will have boxes or barrels coming for Christmas will use this opportunity to ask all the questions that necessary to make sure that you get a free flow whenever time that times come during the course of between now and the end of the year. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for coming to the people. I hope that when you should have left here this afternoon, all of us will be fully edified and much more of a better grasp and knowledge of exactly what our custom service is all about. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Williams. I see that he's a worthy person to fill in for the MP. Yes, well spoken. Spoken like a true champion. Such a pity. Which high school you went to again, sir? All right, we can pass. We're friends, yes. One of the oldest institutions, right, in the island. All right, so we have some other questions from Facebook. I tell you now, our Facebook viewers and listeners, they are tuning in, and the questions are coming in. We might not be able to facilitate all the questions, but there are two more. This question is coming from Sonia Ellis on Facebook. What is the allowance, if any, for gifts coming into the island? Naomi Goldman Rodney, manager, will be answering that question. Also, she says, I would like to send a tablet for a little girl who is hearing impaired to assist in her education. What duty will be imposed, if any? So these two questions are coming from Sonia Ellis on Facebook. Mrs. Naomi Goldman Rodney, who is a manager at Kingston Wharves and the immediate past manager for passenger terminal at the Norman Mann International Airport, will be fielding these questions.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, just got on. The mode of transportation will be important in this case. If it is sent via the courier service, then if it's over the $50, which is, we call it the de minimis value, then duties would be required. If it's under the $50, then it's received for free. If it comes with a traveling passenger, then that passenger, it would be counted in their allowance at $500 allowance. So if it can well, should they have less than $500, they would not be required to pay any duty on that. So the mode is important and the value. This next one, why do people in the ports have to steal things from your barrel? And this is Mavis McPherson from New York. Mavis McPherson, New York, and that's Facebook. And I'll do this one first. Why do people steal? I will go to the response to dealing with that first. That is why the ports, they are doing everything to put the security measures in place so that we can monitor the movement. So the halls where the examination is done, there are cameras, and we can see the movement of the persons. The why is that they're people, they're human beings, and sometimes people make the wrong decisions. Right? But where they are caught, they're dealt with appropriately. And based on the security, I know it's not before examination. For barrels, the way they are packaged, the way they are sealed, I know it must be after it's open. And when it's open in the area, you have to make sure that you monitor your stuff. And we don't have a lot of that happening now from my experience, as I can say. While you have the right to search women's handbags, should this be done by a male officer? We do not see a problem with that, but if you have a concern based on what you know is in your handbag, then you can request that a female search your handbag. But I don't know that there's so much of a problem with a handbag. But if you have a problem with a male going into your handbag, you may request, because sometimes it's a female officer or a male officer. If you want a female officer, you can make the request and it will be granted. This second one was Joan Gordon Tibby on Facebook.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Naomi Rodney, manager for customs at the Kingston Wharves. All right, and do remember, people, that more often than not, when things do go missing from your barrels, more often than not, it has nothing to do with customs. Sometimes things go missing before customs even engages examining a barrel or a container, right? So putting things in place to counter or to minimize and to mitigate any such issues, yeah, that is being done. Customs is doing what they must do as in partnership with the warehouse personnel and other agencies. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having Dr. Christine Hendricks. She is the Executive Director from the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. She will be coming to bring greetings. Put your hands together and make her welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Thank you very much. I accept the protocols that have already been established, and so I just say a pleasant good afternoon to all persons here. The Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities is pleased to be associated with the partnership, in this partnership with the Jamaica Customs Agency, as they move across the island to ensure that the citizens, including persons with disabilities, better understand the work they do so there can be better interaction with them as service providers. We are also happy to know that, as the deaf dancers reminded us, we are not forgotten. And so it is heartening to know that the organizers recognize that persons with disabilities are valuable to their customer base as any other Jamaican. And so they have invested in ensuring that persons with disabilities participate in their community engagement, which includes providing for sign language interpretation for the deaf persons who attend. It is also noteworthy that there is a special presentation to the Maypen unit for the deaf, which is truly commendable. I know that whatever the gift is, it will be valuable to the development of that institution. Persons with disabilities make up at least 10% of the population of developing countries. In Jamaica, however, it is estimated that the figure is about 15%, which means there are about 420,000 persons with varying disabilities in Jamaica. The customs, therefore, could have thousands of customers with disabilities and not know it. And so this engagement is critical because I am sure from the other engagements held, there have been lessons learned to ensure customs become better service providers for all citizens, including persons with disabilities. There will be considerations, I hope, for the accessibility to your various offices, including post offices, and the learning of sign language to enable your staff to interact with deaf customers. I know that you have mastered the art of ensuring persons with physical disabilities needing wheelchairs are taken care of through your airports. However, there are other persons with other physical disabilities using prosthesis or other assistive devices that may need some special attention. And there is also consideration needed for other persons with other disabilities other than physical disabilities. I am aware that there are challenges for some caregivers who are traveling with their children with autism or other persons with invisible disabilities who may have difficulties going through some of the routine checks at the airports. However, it is truly heartening to see that this important agency is understanding its mandate to ensure that Jamaicans, including persons with disabilities, are engaged so you know how to do it better. We trust that through these engagements, the service provision to all your customers will significantly improve. We look forward for a long and fruitful partnership, ensuring that persons with disabilities are fully included in every aspect of social, economic, and development life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hendricks. She's the Executive Director for the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. At this time, I have some more giveaways. If you can answer, remember now, the first hand to be raised, that person will be given the chance to answer the question, all right? What is the name of the Commissioner of Customs? That lady in the yellow, her hand went up first. She can't seem to find her way. You have another mic? All right, I was right. I see backup mic coming. Right. She looks bright. You were born in Clarendon? Yes, I was. You were born in Clarendon?
Yes, I was.
Where in Clarendon?
In James Hill, Bog Hole.
James Hill, what?
Bog Hole, James Hill.
Bogwood?
Bog Hole.
Bog Hole. Lord Jesus, I hope me hear that there's something there. Bog Hole, that's far from here?
Yes.
Then how you catch your way up here?
I'm from the CDC.
Oh, the Community Development Committee. That is what in James Hill CDC. And so you're here today under that. But nice man. So a bus you take come or taxi?
A van we.
On a charter?
Charter.
On a pay the van man yet?
No, not yet.
The mayor is here, you know. The MP no there. Oh, Councillor there too. Councillor Williams. What's the name of the commissioner?
Mrs. Vilma Ricketts Walker.
Oh, you know her name? Has somebody tell you?
No, man.
So you know her name?
I saw it on the flyers.
On the flyers, all right. Put your hands together for her. She is indeed correct, and she gets the deputy commissioner, you see this tall man where I come, look for him. Look up, you wear glasses? You wear glasses there. You can't see good without the glasses. Look for him. He's the deputy commissioner of customs in charge of border protection. Mr. Alwyn Nicely. Put your hands together for her. All right, I have another question here. True or false? That's the answer. You need to answer true, simply true or false. Children younger than 18 years have an allowance of US $500 when clearing customs at the airport. That gentleman has his hand up first. Come, sir. That gentleman has his hand up first. All right, come. You look like you come from there. Okay.
Yeah, false.
False? Why is it false?
Because, as what you say, these children. Eh?
Let him make him talk.
Based on the way you say, if they were children, I just think that it would have to be false.
It have to be false if you're under 18. Where in Clarendon are you from?
Well, I'm from Cumberland in Clarendon.
How far that they far?
Far, you have to go Spal inside.
Wait, but that's a Manchester, yeah, you know, man.
Well, it's the borderline, you know.
Yes, that's at the border, Manchester and Clarendon. So where you take come here?
Well, I take a bus from Spalding with the Spalding DAC group. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You not pay the fare yet?
No.
The councillor is here. Okay. Ease up on the mayor this time. All right, you are indeed correct. It is false. You have to be 18 years and over to enjoy that allowance. Mr. Dave Hansen, one of our supervisors at the air cargo section, is making the presentation. All right. Now I'm going to give the children a chance to answer this question. So you are excluded, other members of the children. True or false? And I give you an easy one. True or false? Customs officers have the right to check packages coming through the post office. True or false? Customs officers have the right to check packages coming through the post office. Who first? You tell me. One at the back? Who first? No. Him? Come. Who was it? The young lady way in the back? Lord, not so much. Is it? She's saying true, but no him you say. Who first? You can't read for them sign. Ask the teacher. Not the teacher. Who first? Ricardo said true first. Okay. So why you are sitting over there? So you're with the school? She's not with the school. All right. So I did say the school. All right. Sorry about that. Right. So Ricardo, put your hands together. Put your hands together for Ricardo. All right. So do we have any more consolation prize gifts? We can. All right. So who's making the gift? Oh, Mr. James Glanville is making the presentation to Ricardo. All right. Congratulations, Ricardo. Clap him, clap him, clap him. All right, nice. Come for me. She answered, she had her hand up. Let her come. It's not, it's who? Which one? She? You have something, come. Just come with something. All right, you? All right, how old you been now? Tell me, how old are you?
20.
How old is she? 24? Lord, you know, let's go long time. How you did that all up to your hand? Eh? All right, so come. We're going to get a prize for her. And we are, yes, customs going. We have another? Yes. Here we go, here we go. One more. There you go. Thank you. So we have two prizes for you. And you went to Ainontown, you attend Ainontown Primary. Which grade are you in?
I'm in grade 5L.
5L? The L stands for your teacher's surname. What is the teacher's name?
Lothian.
Lothian. Mr. or Miss?
Lothian.
Lothian. You have get all of your books them ready for school? Lord Jesus, you're not smart. Sure. You're making it easy for the politician, man. Sure. That's right. Yeah. Speak the truth and speak it ever. And Mr. Mario Watson is making the presentation, and he makes the other one as well. Put your hands together for them. Put your hands together for them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, you will be entertained as we have a drama presentation coming up. And that is from the Jamaica Customs Agency's drama team. And this piece is entitled Clearing Customs. Do remember, if you need the restrooms are to my left, which are to your right. Okay, so all the restrooms for both genders, male and female, the restrooms are to my left. So if you need to use the restroom, you use that. And do remember to keep this area and the center aisle clear and free from human traffic. All right, we put our hands together at this time and make welcome the Jamaica Customs Agency's drama team as they come with their piece entitled Clearing Customs.
My dream, tell you my dream is...
Yes, me get it. I wouldn't say me not gonna get me visa, basic, yeah. But wait, I already want tricks in it. Yes, girl, see? Farid no good again.
Say my girl, 15 times I come up here. What me say?
15 times.
If they never give me today, you see, I would have roll. I would have take off my clothes and roll.
Roll.
Me get me visa, Farid, me there go. Girl, me tell you something.
No, but me I tell you, I'm my first time me come up here and then give me. I lucky so. This girl come 15 times. But listen to this. Me never free that embassy like me free that Jamaica Customs. When you never hear about customs, but me free that them, you know. Jesus.
Girl, me well experienced. Me tell all the things said.
This a girl like so well experienced with what? You ever travel?
No, you know, remember the time me get the little bus and me go a little foreign. When me go Aruba and come back and go across, me drink some water.
True,
me tell about this.
True. Curious, true.
Yes, me child. So when me come in, them have two lines. Them have the green line and them have the red line.
Yeah.
So when me come in from Aruba, you know, say, friend, you pay plane fare. Me not have no more money left, so me go over and the officer ask me where me I come from. So me tell them, Aruba, car. Yes, girl, come and just get a little bus. So me go Aruba and the officer say, where you coming from? So I told her, you have to tell them the truth. Yeah? So me tell her where me I come from. She signed on me form. She met me go on, and then you have the red line. I mean, you said the red line is for when you're carrying things for sale or you carry things for your family, you go over there so. And you pay a little duty. I don't know if enough, because I never have none, so I don't know.
Boy, you go on so knows about listen, I know that me hear about Jamaica Customs, you know. Me hear say then dig up your things. Me don't know where them I look for.
No, girl, me say you have to know for yourself before you make people take you and turn you in a fool.
Well,
because, but guess what? You see, second time me come in, after me go a Cura, so you know when you go down a Cura, so you get the whole heap of little things. Them when you say you go down pan freeze one, them have a, and you know somebody start me like buy and sell.
True, remember.
Yes, me child, and me just buy up this whole heap of sitting. When me come in, me wrap them up, and now me dirty clothes them wrap them up. Cause me not pay no duty. Yes, me child. When me come in, me was me big old bag gone over green line.
Then the red line you did go.
Yes, after me never go declare no. You say me not pay no duty. But when me go over there, the officer say, Miss, check your bag over the girl. I start to fret. Cause me know me have the whole heap of things them figure pay duty pan. When me go over there, the officer asks me, what's in your bag? So me start tell her about sitting. After me family and little things. So the officer start get rough. He say, Miss Brown, what is in your bag? Man, them look and then count up everything. You know, say, we not like pay, not you say we not like pay duty. So, me pay the little duty cause you never so bad. You know? So, me tell you, know for yourself before you make people tell you foolishness.
But guess what? me just I go visit my grandma and my grandpa, you know, so me not supposed to have nothing to declare. Me not go ship nothing.
Oh, good. But guess what? Now me get the visa, me boss. And now I'm the owner and operator of Trixie's Fashion. Me have my GCT, everything, all my paper them sort out, customs can't chat to me.
Girl.
When me come in, me have my document, they pay my duty. Wow.
So girl,
That me and
I'm
if it
here we go.
Grandma ready for the road?
The girl them a wait all week. Forget up on the road like freak. The music full of applause. With thousands of chipping feet.
What's going on here? You know see? I'm ready for the road.
He did. You think you ready for the road? A 40 year we up here in the cold. And all we do, go work, go back home, work home. And you know the arthritis not in here and the cold kill me. Me tired of it. We ready to go back to Jamaica full time.
And everybody in a real nice mood. We gonna party all night, all night.
Mama, Papa, what's going on in here? No, man, don't wake me up so early.
Oh, girl, you finally awake. How was the flight?
Good, you know, Mama. Just finally happy to reach a big foreign.
Well, my granddaughter, you know, a 40 year we up here. And you know, from work home, we tired of that life. You understand? And you know the arthritis not in here. We're ready to go back to Jamaica full time. A your time now, young people time, yeah?
Cyprus, you remember when we used to, what the young people them know called do road? No girl never act like me. Me know every dance move, but foreign just a try come call up my body.
Mama, behave yourself, you're a big man now. What
No bother with it, cause you know me probably can't box away your foot with any young boy.
Hi.
Look here.
No bother with the ugly
Just come have a seat, Mama, because we don't understand.
You will never understand.
Well, my granddaughter, you know, me really want to talk to you about something. Come sit down, cause I
What
want
is
me
that?
here.
What is that now, Papa?
My granddaughter, you know, as going back home, we just want to carry down all the things that we work hard for. We now go back to Jamaica with the long hand.
Okay,
Yes. And you know we're not planning to live no less life in Jamaica than we live in now. Me jacuzzi, me want to carry home. But me about customs, me don't want to in charge me twice. Tina, tell me how you go.
Mama, you know say you have something else? No, anyways, my friend Trixie, she did tell me something about returning resident status where we know that qualify for.
Returning resident status?
Yes, Mama, make me pull it up on the computer. Website www.jacustoms.gov.jm.
In order to be considered a returning resident and to benefit from the concession afforded to returning residents, you must satisfy one of the following conditions. 1. Be a Jamaican national who has attained the age of 18 years and who has been residing overseas for the last 3 consecutive years and is returning to Jamaica to reside permanently. 2. Be a Jamaican who gave up your citizenship and can provide proof of that previous status and wishes to return home. 3. Be a Jamaican student who has attained the age of 18 years and who has studied abroad for more than 1 year but fewer than 3 consecutive years. 4. Be a non-Jamaican whose spouse is a Jamaican returning resident. And 5. A deportee who has been residing overseas for the last 3 consecutive years. A couple, husband and wife, will be counted as one family if returned together and will only get 1 concession. Spouses not returning together but within 3 years of each other are treated as one family and will also get only 1 concession. The documents required: Returning residents must visit the Jamaica Customs Agency Returning Residence Unit and submit the following. 1. A valid Jamaican passport or foreign passport that is endorsed with the unconditional landing stamp. 2. Validated bill of lading or airway bill. 3. Your TRN, which is your taxpayer's registration number. 4. Documentary evidence that will substantiate residency outside of Jamaica for more than 3 or more consecutive years. Returning students should present a transcript, student's I-20, confirmation letter of attendance from last institution of study, and identification card issued by the institution. Deportees should present their deportation order and case file. A specified amount of personal and household effects can be imported free of customs duty. Returning residents may import their tools of trade free of customs duty. Returning residents are entitled to import reasonable quantity of used household effects, musical instruments, and one of each type of electronic equipment, whether new or used. Deported persons will receive entitlements similar to that of returning residents. Qualified applicants can benefit only once from this concession.
And yes, Mama and Papa, see one long list of something here where you can get.
Thank you, my granddaughter. What a good thing you can search by internet.
Away I say, Papa, you send me go to school to learn, don't?
All right.
Yes, I pause. That's all like we are ready. We're ready for the road.
Panelists, mash up the place. Oh my, hey, watch out for this.
Yes.
Panelists, mash up the place. Oh my, hey, watch out for this. Watch out for this. Hey, watch out for this.
Hello?
Watch out for this.
Hello? Hello? Yes, my child, I don't at the wharf, me I go clear me things them, so you can't come in here. Me not go stay long down there. Yes. Me have to go early, because you know, see enough people down here. Yes, girl, me buy up enough goodies. Make sure say you have your money, though. Yes, my child, me have to reach early. To get me things them. Yes, my dear, right, me I look for. All of my tax paper, them I have my GCT paper. Girl, remember say me big now, you know. I know how customs set up, so I have to have my things them all together and ready for them down there. Yes, my child, me waiting. Yes, child, me reach from early. Like seriously, I must reach. Get my things them all together. Waiting. Yes, my girl. Me down here, I wait me early. No, sir. We are going inside, go wait for them now. Well, on there, me see my friend. Martina, are you that? No, my child, you look good. The one little time you... No, man, you're not hot. I'll forward jacket. No, Tina, your fur jacket will kill me. Not because you go for in one time, you come back in a fur jacket down. A matter of fact, what you do down at the wharf?
Trixie, are you talking to me?
Oh, no, come here, people, my friend, go a foreign and turn foreigner in a fur jacket. You know, sister, turn hot.
She's bad mind, right? Yeah,
No.
she's just so jealous.
You're near Christian. What's your... No, man, no Trixie. Me don't know, but me can't look for your ear. But anyways, what you do down here?
Me really think that you did that, my friend. You're not happy for me? Look how me fix up myself.
No,
nice
girl,
and
we are
thing.
friends. But anyways, what you do down here?
What you mean what me do down here? Where people come down here could do?
You did tell me
talk
say you're
to
not
me
shit
nice.
nothing.
When
You
people-
did say you're not shit nothing. You go look for your granny. And I could have give you a little things to put in your barrel for me.
Exactly. And that me tell you, and guess what? I want burial me come clear for my grandmother. She just sent some things for the family, and it me come clear for her.
Anyway, child, I go buy my nice things, then I get good deals down at LA. Some nice things, girl. You can come look at them when we clear them and go down to the shop. You can come down there.
Goody.
And if I tell you,
Things
girl,
are go on for you then.
You ain't always a go on.
But anyway, I have one little mix up to tell you.
How
Me
that?
know, travel for the first time. I go on, like I said, me a regular. Gone out of the airport.
But after you so hot.
Yes, got asked for yellow form. Guess what they tell me? Say, they don't issue it again. Anyways, they say, me is so embarrassed. But guess what? They tell me, say, it's online now. You still get your allowance. Just carry your passport and your tearing when you're going to college.
Okay. I thought them did tell me too. But because you're a newcomer, you just don't know that.
Whatever, you're just jealous.
No, girl, me not jealous. Me just can't get over your fur jacket. Don't your heart tell you that fur jacket?
Me look good, right?
No, my friend, you're going with things. You take
Miss
life.
Trixie Brown.
Oh, that's my name, girl. I'm going to
Alright,
my burial.
later.
That's my name. Let me look if nobody teeth not know or open up my barrel car. Yes. Intact, all good. More if you know, say all of my things, them, because them custom officer, they two teeth. You know, say them a open people barrel down a wharf. Okay. Them now open people barrel down a wharf. I don't want nobody take out nothing.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Could I have your papers, please?
Yes, ma'am. No problem. I have everything here. A GCT certificate, everything is intact, ma'am.
Okay, then. All right, Miss Brown, I'm going to ask you just to open the barrel, take out some of the items you have inside so we can take a look, okay?
All right. What you want? What else you want to see, ma'am? I have to take out everything out of it?
No, ma, you're going to
go
take
way down
out
to
enough
bottom?
so I can see down,
All right.
okay?
What else you want to see? See, these are some shoes. Some Puma, nice shoes, miss. You know, so me have size can't fit you. Me own Trixie's. Me are the owner of Trixie's upper haberdashery, and big things are going down there. My girl, me have size what can't fit you. Anything you want, you just take it.
Then.
You
Miss
ever
Brown.
come patronize me with a pan Lark Street, so you can come down there.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I
Anything
can
you want.
stop
What
by
size you
later and
wear?
look. All right, Miss Brown, let's just look at the items
All
you
right.
have here,
You
okay?
can look at anything you see. Don't open the bag them. Anything you see where you like, you can
Miss
take
Brown, I see you have a, what is this? It's a Puma sneakers.
Yes,
But
a
Miss
Puma
Brown,
them. What size you wear? You
this-
see your size in there?
Miss Brown, this is not the Puma sign, Miss Brown.
Sister, you know how things go. When you get the little things them like back door and the things that wanna real, you have to buy it and make sure you make a profit. Not true? And when you make a profit, you get the big money and you can spend some more and buy some more things. You know how
All
things
right,
set,
but Miss Brown, do you know that this is not real and items that
Yes,
are
but yes, when you
counterfeit
put
are
it
not
on and
allowed?
go downtown, girl, everybody like it.
But Miss Brown, it's illegal to take in these items into the
What
country.
you mean illegal? Miss, me have all of my paper them to pay for my things.
Miss Brown,
So
you
do what
have
do
all
and
the
make me go
papers
on.
to pay for your items. However, you're taking in items that are not real.
Miss,
They're
just
not
do what you
and
do
they're not
and make me
allowed.
go on. People are waiting for me down at my shop. Let me go pay the duty. How much me for pay?
All right, Miss Brown, are you aware that you're in contravention of the Customs Act, Section 210 of the Customs Act?
Lord Jesus Christ.
All right.
Everyone me turn Maka joke me. What you saying to me, ma'am?
What I'm saying to you is, Miss Brown, is that you're going to be required to pay either not more than 3 times the value of the item.
Miss, me just show you my receipt.
Miss Brown, can you listen to me, please?
Yes,
or
me dey
not
listen.
less than 3 times the duty of the items.
Is that all?
Just listen for me, please.
Intellectual property right. Intellectual property right is the general term for the assignment of property rights through patents, copyrights, and trademarks. These property rights allow the holder to exercise a monopoly on the use of the item for a specified period. The protection of intellectual property rights is important to 1. Acknowledge and appreciate the creative expression of the human imagination. 2. Empower creative persons to earn an equitable remuneration from the use of their talents. And 3. Encourage investment in further innovation and new creations, which in turn benefit the general society. Persons are not allowed to import items that are not authentic but bear the image or likeness of the original. Counterfeit medication can prove harmful to persons who ingest them and can cost the right holders millions of dollars. The proceeds from the sale of counterfeit goods are also often used to fund illegal activities.
All right, Ms. Brown, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and speak with some of our contraband enforcement team
call
officers.
one supervisor. Call somebody bigger than you.
Okay, the CT officer is going to come over, take a look and
Anybody.
speak with you.
I don't care. I just want to go.
Good morning, Miss Brown.
I want you to come lock me up. I come and come lock me up.
No, Miss
Fit
Brown.
two little piece of shoes.
No, Miss Brown. Just let me have a look at what you have here.
Miss, too much people are look. Take your time. Let me show you. Me have. See, she they talk about these. Say them a knock off.
This is a cat. What is it you're supposed to have? This is Puma that
Miss?
is stated here, but this is the likeness of a cat.
Yes, Miss. But you know the business set up. You have to just.
No, Miss Brown. No,
Miss.
no, Miss Brown.
Anyone them can fit you, Miss? Any? You want any? I'll give you a pair, Miss. Please,
Miss Brown.
May I beg you?
I'm not here to arrest you. I'm just here to let you know that you cannot
So me
take in
can get them.
items bearing the likeness or image of other brands.
All right, that's my first time.
Goods you take in must be authentic. Not this, not this.
Miss, I'm the first time. May I beg you, please give me a blind. May we give you one of the shoes? What you want?
Miss Brown, let me reason with you. You
Yes.
have children?
Yes, and what?
Miss Brown, you know that counterfeit goods are harmful. They cost the right holders millions each year. Miss Brown, you cannot do this. What if your 2-year-old was sick in the middle of the night and you bought a Panadol fever and that medication contained counterfeit items?
Oh, me fi know that.
That is my point. Miss Brown, Miss Brown,
give me a
just
chance, please.
listen.
Give me a chance. Just give me a chance, no, Miss. We give you anything.
Miss Brown, you can't bribe me with a shoes with a cat on
Miss,
it.
anything. We give you anything.
No, Miss Brown.
Anything you want, we give you. Miss, please, Miss, just give me a chance. Why? Everywhere me turn back at me. Look how me go on like me know everything about customs. Me all they tell me friend what to do. And look there. After me never know say you can't carry in counterfeit things. And me get the things them cheap. And look how me buy them and want them to go sell. And now then take them away. No man, me have to go read a little bit more. Me can't
Hold on,
bother,
now Trixie,
me a tell you the
how
truth,
she
me
looks at the
can't
press?
bother.
Trixie, you not get through yet.
What you want?
I can't deal with me so strong.
Why me I tell you, man, me no want dilemma, but guess what? Me will tell you about it later. Because you see, sometimes when me think me know everything about cause me no know nothing.
You see the same thing when me say, somehow you just dip on the Instagram, the Facebook, and guess what? You can go on the Jamaica Customs website and get the relevant information. Just take down the website for me then.
Why me never know? Me write it down. What you say? You go say.
Hurry up, take out the pen, man.
Yes, go on, tell me.
www.jacustoms.gov.jm. What me say?
www.jmg.
No. Rub out that.
Look here, man. Look here. Next time you
check
tell
it something. www.jacustoms.gov.jm. Always be in the know.
Keep the applause going. Keep the applause going. Keep the applause going. That's the drama team from the Jamaica Customs Agency, clearing customs. You enjoyed that? You enjoyed that? Right. And these are some of the things that customs officers are faced with on a daily basis, and some of the things that you sometimes it's because of ignorance where you don't understand, and that is why we take this initiative to go to the communities and bring the parishes rather, and bring the information to you so you can be better informed where customs processes and operations are concerned. At this time, we will be having a special donation. The Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Emangelo, will be presenting on behalf of the Commissioner right, and accepting that is Mrs. Georgia Dyer. She's a teacher from the Maypen Unit Class for the Deaf. Mrs. Dyer, please come to accept a donation from the Jamaica Customs Agency. The Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations is making the presentation on behalf of the Commissioner and CEO of Customs and the Jamaica Customs Agency. You want to say anything?
On behalf of Jamaica Customs, Commissioner of Customs Management Team, I'd like to present this, and I hope that it will be useful in advancing the membership of your small community.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Maypen Unit for the Deaf, we just want to say a big thank you for your gift, and it's not a hoping, it is and will be beneficial to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Lou. And Mrs. Dyer, do remember that it doesn't end there. The mayor's own will be coming in short order. All right, we now will be having a presentation from Mr. Kingsley Henry. He's the director for the Cargo Imaging Unit at the Jamaica Customs Agency, and he will be presenting on cargo imaging, examination of goods by customs. Please put your hands together and make him welcome, Mr. Kingsley Henry.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And after the dramatic presentation, or drama presentation just now, I think my job is mostly done. But one correction, I'm not presenting on cargo imaging. I'm presenting on inspections or examinations at customs. And I have a lovely assistant. In this instance, I call her Vanna White, who at some point will assist me to show you some of the items that cause concern. But I want to ask a question as I start. How many persons have ever either shipped a barrel, if you've ever shipped something from overseas, put up your hand. If you've ever received a barrel or a box or anything from overseas, keep your hands up. If you have ever received a parcel or mail via the post office, keep your hands up. If you have ever traveled overseas, keep your hands up. All right? So that is a majority. Thank you. Majority of us here. And so one of the themes that has been coming out this afternoon is the general question that people have. Why do we dig up your stuff? Let's be frank. We call it inspection at customs. That is a nice name, but you're not calling it inspection. You're asking why customs have to dig up your stuff, why we have to open your letter, why we have to open the thing that you ship and you buy online. The caretaker was asking that question. Right? And so what my objective is this afternoon is to get into some of that. Why do we inspect? I hope at the end of my session you'll have a greater understanding in addition to the presentations that you would have benefited from this afternoon. What do we inspect? So there are a lot of things coming into the island. What is it that we're looking at? Where do we do our inspections? Somebody earlier on mentioned something about post office. And that's an interesting one because most persons would not have any idea that if something comes through the post office, that customs would do any inspections at the post office. As far as you know, your postmistress or your postmaster or the mailman or the clerks who work at the post office are the ones who deal with your mail and packages. How do we conduct these inspections? And lastly, we look at what are some of the possible outcomes of a customs inspection. If I had some prizes to give away this afternoon, I would ask you broadly, what are the mandates of Jamaica Customs? What are our role and our function? So the government and the laws of Jamaica has put together a customs agency. What it is that we have been mandated or chartered to do. What is it? So, if you look at the Jamaica Customs mission, it speaks about three things. One of them is, it is our responsibility as customs to protect the border. You believe that Jamaica border needs protection? And if I ask you what it needs protection for, I'm sure you can tell me many of the things that it needs protection for. Right? And you're in Clarendon, and we're in Jamaica, and we know the challenges that Clarendon have. And I'm sure you will have some questions that lead on from some of the presentations that you will hear today. The other thing that we are mandated to do as customs is to collect revenues. Let me see the hands of those who like to pay taxes. Let me see the hands of those who, if you had a choice and you don't have to pay tax, you would not pay it. Right? So the majority of us, if we had a choice and tax was not compulsory, we would not pay it. Right? We pay because the law says we should pay. Right? Trade facilitation, that's our job. So one of the things that we are mandated to do is to let the goods that come into the country that you find in the stores, that you find you need to run the businesses and all of those things, we are there to ensure that the process is as easy as possible so that industry and business can thrive in Jamaica. Those are the three main things that customs focus on. So, revenue collection. We cannot, at the borders, collect revenue unless we know what it is that you're bringing in, right? So in the same way you saw in the skit, the barrel, a customs officer cannot determine how much tax you should pay unless we have an idea of what is in the barrel, right? So if you say, for example, the lady in the skit was saying that she had clothing and she had shoes. One of the reasons why we would inspect is to verify that what you say you have in there, we call it in customs, what you have declared is what is there, right? And if you say you have 100, we're interested in knowing that you have 100 and not 200. Because when you have 200, there are other implications that we'll talk about at the end of the presentation. And we want to see what is there so we can determine if you say you pay $50 for it. You buy it online and you send it via one of the courier companies and you bought it on Amazon or Walmart. And you say, I pay $40 for it. We want to see to verify whether it really is $40 that you pay. And so looking at the item, one might tell us that, but very importantly, looking at the receipt or the invoice that you provide also gives us an idea. So that is why we do an inspection or an examination. That's why we dig up for the purpose of revenue. And I'm sure my bosses would want me to tell you that is not everything we dig up, because we have ways. We have people we trust. Individuals who import who have become trusted importers. Companies that have become trusted importers. That your track record said to us that every time you tell customs that you have 100, and every time we check for the last 10 years, it's 100 you have. Right? And so when you do that, we treat you in a different way. People who are honest get treated differently. Not true? All right. So Mr. Barnes is saying, not like Trixie. The other reason, and the most important reason from where we sit, is the whole issue of border protection. The primary or the main border protection agency in Jamaica is Jamaica Customs. It's not the JDF, we work very closely with them. It's not the JCF, we work very closely with them. But the agency that is charged with the duties to protect your border is the Jamaica Customs Agency. And we try to do that to do what? To safeguard your security, your health, and your safety. I will let you determine how well we are doing at that. All right? And I can tell you we have had successes, and it is work in progress. Every day we are trying to get better. And this forum is one of the initiatives to help us to interact with you, to help us to do what we do better. All right? So, there are various laws in Jamaica. And if you read the Customs Act, it's not the only law that we work by. We do work on behalf of several ministries, departments, and agencies of the government of Jamaica. So when we are on the border and we're looking for guns and ammunition and explosive firecrackers and all those things, we're not just doing it for customs. We're doing it on behalf of the Ministry of National Security. Why? Because they're not the one that are manning the official borders of Jamaica. It is the Jamaica Customs Agency. And so all the ministries, departments, and agencies that don't have people on the border, what they do, they say, since customs you are there, everything must come through you, you must see everything, then guess what? We're going to ask you to inspect, to search, to look on our behalf, and to ensure that the things that our act say, the Firearms Act say shouldn't come in, then it won't come in, because customs is the gatekeeper. So as the gatekeeper, we do work on behalf of the Ministry of Health. When you get your medication and it comes in, there's a thing that is happening now in terms of counterfeit medication. And the skit would have mentioned it. So therefore, you require a permit from the Ministry of Health if you're importing medication. Who is it that is going to check to ensure that if you say you are, for want of a better word, you're importing Panadol? Who is it that checks to ensure that it's indeed Panadol that is on the labeling? It is the customs officer who will check. We are not the expert when it comes to medicine, but the Ministry of Health will have given you a document that says you can import 100 Panadol. The customs officer will check and to see 100. And if the customs officer has an issue, the customs officer may call the Ministry of Health and say, we have a concern, we'll hold on to the item, can you come and send your inspectors to come and verify that this Panadol is actually good Panadol. So we are there to safeguard the health of the nation on behalf of the Ministry of Health. We work on behalf of the Ministry of Commerce, Agriculture, and Fisheries. We have a coconut industry in Jamaica that has been severely hit over the last 2 decades. Why? Because of pests or bugs that were imported from overseas. So one of the things that we try to do at Customs, that we are mandated to do, is to ensure that anything agricultural, meat, fruits, dairy products that are coming in, have the correct permit from the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, and that they are dealt with and that they have been cleared and they are okay for consumption locally. We, again, I say it, and you'll hear me say it a lot of times, we are the gatekeepers on behalf of all these ministries. So we do work on behalf of the Ministry of Transport. So the motor vehicles that come into Jamaica, they have to come through customs. I don't know if none will come in here when they come through customs yet. Right? So they have to come through customs. And so the tax authorities, for example, to your license, your motor vehicle, rely on customs to check, to ensure that the engine number, the vehicle registration number is matching the documents and the permits that would have been given by the trade board. And therefore, the tax office rely on the information that comes from us when you're licensing your car to put on the road, to run like a taxi, etc. Right? So those are some of the functions we perform and why we do inspections. We do work to safeguard things on behalf of the Pesticide Control Authority. We have, where's Vanna Black? Vanna Black, in the bag, you will see some roach mat and some mosquito coil. So you will see those, and you may see them on the market, and I hope you really don't see them on the market. Because one of the arguments that is used when people buy them, they say, boy, they work really well. But guess what? The black mosquito coil there's no permit, there's no allowance for it to be imported into Jamaica. And it gets in. I mean, know the question that will come later. If it is not allowed, how it pass customs? That is the question, don't it? And it passed customs, and we're going to go back to it. It's not that we're not taking responsibility. It passed customs because of dishonest people. It is impossible. Think about it. There are hundreds of thousands of shipping containers and millions of tons of cargo that come through our port every single year. If you were supposed to check every single box down to the last item, your supermarket shelves, your stores would be virtually empty a lot of the time. So guess what? It's not practical to check everything. So when I go to tell you about how we do what we do, you will understand that we have to work smartly because most of us alone can't check everything. So we have to use computer, we have to use risk assessment to figure, is this person more likely to be dishonest than that person? So how do we treat the person who we figure is likely to be more dishonest? Because we can't check every single thing. It is impossible. All right? So these are other agencies that we do work on behalf of. All right? So what do we inspect? Ships and boats. So we actually go on the ship and we check if there's anything on the ships that ought not to be there. We do that for private boats. So you have you win the lotto and you buy your big yacht. And you sail, go Cayman, and you come back. The law requires that when you come to Jamaica, you must report to customs so that customs can come check and immigration can come do their work and Ministry of Health can come do their work and say that it's okay. So we actually check the actual vessels. We do the same for aircrafts, whether private or the big commercial aircrafts. We check people. People, and I'm not talking about people's bag. I'm talking about people, right? So one of my colleagues would have mentioned it earlier that the Customs Act gives you the power to search people. So we had a discussion earlier about handbags. But if you come into the customs space, whether to clear a barrel or you're coming through the airport or through the cruise shipping terminal, and there's a determination that you may have something concealed within your person or on your person, the law make provision as to how we go about to ensure that you are searched. So we do search people as well. Just swipe, please. What do we inspect? So we check your bags. You see I put it up there? Purses, wallets, handbags. I put it up there because I know that question would have arisen. We don't aim to check your handbag and your purse and your wallet when you come to the airport. It's not our first option. It's not the first thing that we want to do. That is usually done as a last resort. And it is usually done when the officer would have asked you some questions and would have looked at the form that you would have written on and say, Customs, this is what I have. The officer would then have checked if you have big bags. The officer would have done some inspection. And based on what the officer would have seen there, the officer would then maybe motivated to move on to say, can I see in your handbag? But the officer is not seeing you come with your handbag and everybody that comes with their handbag, they say, put up your handbag, let me see in your handbag. No, that's not how we work. So a next person might come and, as she explained, you come and you have nothing to declare and you use the green channel and you go through. Somebody else might have something to declare. We might be checking, and for example, we are checking. An officer is checking, and we're checking, and there's money in the bag. Whole lot of money that you didn't tell customs that you have. Yes, you're required to tell customs that you are taking in money, right? The officer check, and then the officer sees a bulge on the person. What would the normal person do? The normal person would inquire what that bulge is. And if the bulge is a wallet, then you'll be asked to remove the wallet. The officer will ask to see in the wallet. And we can tell you from experience, working like that, it works every single time. So we check barrels, crates, boxes, containers, tanks, motor vehicles, and the like. Anything that is coming into Jamaica, we check. Where do we do our inspections, though? At the customs hall when you're traveling. We do it at the various warehouses at the airport if you send your stuff via an airplane. We do it on the seaport when you go to clear your barrel or your container or your box or your crate, right? We do it at the public warehouses on the seaport that I'm talking about. We do it at the cruise shipping terminal. So if anybody ever worked on a cruise ship? Anybody ever worked on a cruise ship? That is more for the people up north, right? But if you work on a cruise ship and the cruise ship comes into terminal and you are taking off some stuff for your family and you're going back on the ship, you have to come through customs, right? So we are working at the cruise shipping terminals as well. If at the private wharves, you have some, like Jamaica Flour Mill operates a private wharf. Some of the petroleum companies operate private wharves. The bauxite companies operate private wharves. Customs is there doing inspection as well. Private premises, and I put that on deliberately. So you come through customs and your thing never come through customs. So you arrive through customs, but the thing that you shipped or somebody sent to you never really come through customs. They came through the port. Right? So our intelligence tells us that you got it, but we never see it. The law allows us to stop your car on the road and to search you. The law allows us to search your house or whatever building or dwelling place with the proper guidance. If a warrant is required, then we go get the warrant and we come and we search. That is why I put private premises on there. The post office. If you didn't know, everything that comes into Jamaica through the post office goes through one big, nice building that Jamaica Post operate. Everything on South Camp Road. And everything that comes through there, letter, parcels, must undergo customs inspection as well. How do we inspect? We don't always dig up your stuff, right? We may look at the documents that you submit to customs. And depends on what the documents say, we may be satisfied. Based on what the documents say, we might decide that we want to do some interviews. So the customs officer might want to ask you a question at the airport based on the documentation. On the wharf, the customs officer might want to ask you some question. And we also have what we call non-intrusive inspection. So we have scanners. So all the containers and all the shipments and all the mails and stuff that come into Jamaica and go out of Jamaica, we put them through scanners and we use metal detectors to help us to see and to determine what is inside and whether we need to actually open it and, as you say, dig a little further to see what is there. And so that's where the physical inspection will come in. We have to do it. There's a certain amount of physical inspection that must take place. So after we do all of that, you get your stuff, you're a business person, you get it and you're gone. The law says customs have up to 7 years to come back to you and to say, let me see the documentation that you used to import. And then we can do post-clearance audit to determine if the money that you paid initially and what you said the goods was initially was indeed so. So there are various ways in which Jamaica Customs do inspections. So, finally, when an inspection is done, what are the possible outcomes? If everything is fine, you get a green, you're good to go. The challenge that we have with each other, and you have with us, mainly, is when everything is not fine. Where what you said really goes so, or we find something that you say you never really know about, that is where we have an issue. Where there's a disconnect between what is stated in the documentation or what you tell us verbally and what we are seeing. In that case, it may lead to any of these, and this is not an exclusive list. It may lead to the detention of your goods. So customs will tell you, say, look here, you can't get this right now because we need to do some further checks. Or you can't get this right now because you have to pay some more duties. Or you can't get this right now because you never got the permit for the bleaching cream. Or you can't get this right now because you're not allowed to bring in the black mosquito coil. Right? So The other thing that might happen is that customer might tell you, they skip mention it, that you're being breached under 210. Breach means you have broken the law. And there's a penalty or a fine that is going to be applied. Customs might tell you can't get the goods, we're going to sell it. But there are processes that take us to that point. So what we want, ladies and gentlemen, is for everybody to be as accurate with their dealings with customs and to be as honest as possible. We anticipate that mistakes will be made. And trust me, if mistakes are made and you come to us before we discover the mistake and say, you know, I thought this was this case, then we have allowance within our system. We are not seeking to penalize or punish our stakeholders. What we want you to do is to have smooth sailing. So tell us what you have, be accurate as possible. If you're not sure, call us, go on the website, send a question, link us up, and we will explain how much you must pay, why you must pay. We are more than willing and happy to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope my presentation would have shed some light on as to why is it we do inspections at customs, how we do those inspections, where we do those inspections, and the panel will be available to answer further questions, and different custom personnel are here and they are willing and capable of addressing your questions. Thank you so much for hosting me in Clarendon.
Put your hands together for Mr. Kingsley Henry, Director Cargo Imaging, for that informative presentation. Please remember to keep and Vanna Black, his assistant. Raise your hand, Vanna, and flash. What is that, Brazilian, Peruvian, or Hawaiian? Indian. Just remember that if you have any questions, please write down your questions. We will be having a segment for question and answer. At this time, the children will be leaving. They will be feted with refreshments and then placed on their buses. So we will facilitate them leaving now, as they have to go very far. And we don't want the bus to leave them halfway. It was like how the fee not paid. Clap them as they go. Clap them. Applaud them rather as they go. Nice. All right. So remember, we have another presentation. So any questions you have, just write them down so that you get to ask them during the question and answer segment. At this time, we will be feted with some good singing by the Jamaica Customs Agency Choir. Yes, Councillor Mirage. Yes, His Worship the Mayor. We do have a choir, yes, and so now they will be showing us their mettle. Put your hands together. Put your hands together for the choir. Seeing that we now have some empty chairs, there are some persons on the outside who are standing. You may make your way, and we have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about a dozen chairs here. So you may just walk at the back, walk to the other entrance rather, and make your way down to the front. From the left aisle, we have lots of empty chairs in here. You can come and take a chair.
Holy be the Most High God, hallowed be thy name. King of kings and Lord of lords, worthy to be praised. I'll ascribe to you dominion, power and praise. Throughout the years and years to come, you'll always be the same. It's me again, child, as I fall on my knees and pray. Help me, God, I pray. Don't wanna be carried away. It's me again, child, as I fall on my knees and pray. Help me, God, I pray. Preserve my soul today. Look around the world today, oh God, and you will see Pharisees and backbiters taking up in vanity. But I know you control my destiny, and from you all blessings flow. From yesterday, even today, and tomorrow. It's me again, church, as I fall on my knees and pray. Help me, God, I pray. Don't wanna be carried away. It's me again, church, as I fall on my knees and pray. Help me, God, I pray. Preserve my soul today.
Glory, hallelujah. Bless my soul, oh Jah, to the Most High God.
Survive, yet still hold the faith. Unchangeable, Lord, unchangeable. Unchangeable, Lord, unchangeable. Hey, no matter how the dollar might stack up, me still not change. We have a stay rough. In a diggity and you have to buckle up your waist. Be smart, don't be a rough. No. Life is a journey, it's a long race. Let's don't be smart, don't bring disgrace. Then come the broom, start sweep the place. All these ways I'm about to get erased. Love to my people that me embrace. The truth are the truth that can't erase. Love to my people that me embrace. Just tell me the so we ain't giving up, no. We put up a fight, we got to be ready. Cause time's getting traded. Just said, don't you worry, I'll be in a hurry, Lord. You got to be ready. Cause time's getting traded. We pray, we pray, we pray, we pray, we pray, we pray, we pray.
I know everybody I go like we, still we irie, cause we no love likes, in a dancehall style. I know everybody I go like we, still we irie, cause we no love likes. So every time we vibe, we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Success don't come overnight, so make them know a substance over hype. We do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Enough of them I love likes, that don't right. Sit down and a post and a tweet all night. See them on social media type. Go on like say them they a studio a vice. But we never book them up on no flight. And we no see them a live not our life. You miss a man know you have so much like I'm Molly still a lead pan iTunes. Simple beat we already here. We fit take the music first dance all. While we there and no war and no hype. Work dance all. So when you see me yes last I. And every tune when me ever write. And every show when me headline. No, we not do it for the likes. So me tell them we do it for the love. We not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Never tell the youth about a shot and quang them. Instead tell them to sell the gun and buy a yang yang. Cause we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes.
Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming down. We have one final presentation, and don't leave, because we have a very big, that's a giveaway. We have a very easy question for you, and you can win that beautiful gift basket. So at this time, oh yes, momentarily, our mayor, his worship, the Mayor Councillor Winston Mirage, will be leaving us. And he has been a very good steward today. He stayed with us for a long, long time, hasn't he? Yes, and we know he's a busy man, plus he have to go make up the check for the school. So we're going to give him enough time to leave to go do that. Put your hands together for him. Thank you so much, Mayor Mirage, for being with us. At this time, we have our next presentation. This will be done by Mrs. Naomi Goldburn Rodney, manager for Kingston Wharves at the Jamaica Customs Agency. She will be presenting on importation of personal and commercial items. Put your hands together and make her welcome.
Might I say good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen, friends all. And I hope you'll bear with me to go through this presentation. I'll make it as snappy as possible, but I know that this is information that you would love to have. So I know I will have your rapt attention. Seaport, airport, and post office importation. I'll get right into it. Seaport clearance of commercial items. And what are commercial items? And you have it there. Goods sold or traded. Goods customarily offered to the general public for sale. Note carefully, there are times when goods are imported as personal items, but can be considered to be in commercial quantity. In those times, we're not telling you that you have commercial goods. What we're saying is that it has commercial quantity. So if you are from a big family like me, we have 8 brothers, 9, 1 dead, 8 brothers and 5 sisters, and you have to go away and you want to carry something for everybody. When you come to custom, they would sure say you're going to sell. So we are not telling you that you're going to sell that time. We're only saying that what you have, the quantity, is in commercial quantity. So if you have a dozen of this, a dozen jeans, a dozen shirt or whatever, it's in commercial quantity, and you'll be required to pay the applicable duty. And I will note here also that if it's in commercial quantity, then the allowance that we'll talk about later may not apply if it's in commercial quantities. What are the requirements for importing commercial goods? You need your authentic supplier's invoice. If it's commercial goods, and we saw it in this kit where she had made her preparation to come to customs. Your authentic invoice, the ESAD, the import entry, ESAD, because we have gone all electronic and we have the system Asikuda, which you may hear bantered about the place. You need your airway bill, your bill of lading. You need your import permits and licenses and authorization letter where needed. And we were talking earlier about some of the things. Well, somebody answered the question as to restricted items. So for those, you need your permits. If you're importing your motor vehicle, you definitely need your import license. And if you don't have the license and you bring it in before you get the license, what will happen? Anybody know what will happen? Nobody knows what will happen? Well, if you bring it before the license, then you will be charged. You'll be cited for a breach of the Customs Act if you bring it in before the license. You must have your license before importing restricted items. Your tax compliance certificate is also needed. Your TRN is also needed. And any other relevant documents that you would need or you think would prove the legitimacy of the goods that you have imported. And we're talking about commercial importation, right? How to clear, or how is clearance affected? The commercial goods, they have the cost of the items, the freight charge, that is what the shipper charge to bring it here, and the insurance, which insurance with sea or air, and we have different percentages if it's sea or air. And the duties are calculated on the CIF value of the goods. And we're saying if it's over 5,000 US, then you will need to employ the services of a licensed custom broker to clear said shipment. Right? And we state there the customs regulation. If you should go online and you would look up those documents, the customs regulation item 147, it speaks to what we are. So the Customs Act, the things that we do, the Customs Act and regulation, those are the laws that backs up the decisions that we make. So we don't just make them because we don't like persons or we just want to be wicked. We have the authority on which to operate. Where the CIF value is up to 500, we mentioned that. And the goods below that may be cleared upon presentation of the clearance documents at the appropriate office on the 5,000. 5,000, yes. They're seeing. Importer must ensure that they use only customs brokers who are registered with the Jamaica Customs Agency and who possess the valid customs license to practice. You must ensure that they have the relevant license to practice. And those licensed custom broker may also employ what we call custom broker clerks. Sometimes we mix them up. When you say customs, we mix them up, customs brokers with customs. But they are different. They are the private organization and they are authorized by customs to perform the functions that they do. They perform, we could call it agency function for you. They interact with customs on behalf of the importer. Right? So the importer, and even though we mentioned about the $5,000, if it's under $5,000 and you don't want to have the hassle with customs, you can employ the services of a custom broker to interact with customs on your behalf. In order for customs brokers to act on others' behalf, a C-73 form must be completed, and it's valid for a year, and the fee of $5,000 is required. So Mary Jane has the shipment, which is over $5,000, and she has contacted this customs broker. That document must be lodged with customs, and that fee paid to show that he is legitimately authorized to act on behalf of such person. So no any Mr. Man can come and say, I have the authority, or I've come to clear a shipment for so-and-so. Not like that. You have to be so duly authorized. If someone other than a licensed custom broker is used for goods less than $5,000, an authorization letter stamped by the Justice of the Peace or Notary Public must be presented to the JCA. Must have a letter of authorization from the importer stating and duly notarized, stating that you are authorizing this person who comes to customs with your documents to clear on your behalf. And you can understand why that is, don't? Because if customs should give your goods to somebody who is not duly authorized, customs would be responsible, because we are at the back end. The warehouse keeper, yes, they deliver, but we also have that responsibility to ensure that only the legal person interacts with the Jamaica Customs Agency. Personal importation. Unlike commercial imports, personal importations are almost a part of our everyday way of life. So when we talk about personal importation, we talk about the barrel that we've been discussing. We talk about you going online and you buy that item that you need, right? That is for your personal use. And when we put personal, we can say personal and household effects. So things for your personal adornment and also things that you may use in your house. Those are personal items. So it's not for resale. So the person went abroad earlier and they packed the barrel, one with commercial items, but you go and you pack for your personal use. Yes, those are the shipments we're talking about. Whether it's a barrel, whether it's a box, whether it's a parcel that comes to the post office, those are the personal items we are talking about. Items are not manufactured for commercial use and they are imported for personal use, and I gave you some examples and they are there as well. Food, clothing, toiletries, household effects, appliances, toys, furniture, etc. What are my entitlements as it relates to personal effects? Presently, all passengers are travelers, and you got that question earlier, 18 years and over, they are entitled to the duty-free allowance of $500 US every time you travel. Some time ago, it was for every 6 months, it was $150 twice for the year. Now it's $500 US, or it's equivalent. If it's Canada or UK, it's equivalent, and it's every time you travel. How do I get this? Upon your arrival at the airport, when it's your turn to speak with a customs officer, you indicate to the officer that you have a shipment at the port, whether it's a seaport or the airport. You indicate to the customs officer that you have a shipment on the port. And somebody mentioned about the yellow form, the C-27, the unaccompanied baggage declaration that you all know so well. That was the document you would have gotten. But in recent time, we no longer use the yellow form because we are going green. So when you come and you tell the officer that you have that shipment on the port, they go on their computer, they enter your information, and that's it. When you go to the port, you communicate same to the supervisor at the port, they go on the system, and they verify that you're traveled and what the allowance is. Based on what you would have had before the officer, they would do an evaluation of the amount. And say, for example, what you had there, the officer would have given you, say, $200 of the allowance on that. Then you're entitled to additional what? An additional $300 when you go to the port, the seaport, or airport. Or air cargo, that is, to do the collection. That was what I just said. The allowance is valid for clearance of goods arriving in Jamaica 2 months prior to or arrival 2 months after your date of arrival. 2 months prior to or after your date of arrival. The allowance is for the passenger arriving. So it's you. So if you travel, but you send the barrel in somebody else's name and your name is not on it, the person whose name it's in is the person who's going to have to clear it. So if you travel, its shipment must be in your, because only the traveler is entitled to the allowance. There we go. Strict adherence to this policy, it suggests that you cannot use your passenger allowance to clear commercial goods or goods in commercial quantity. So if you look like me, but you come with a shipment and a pure extra large clothes in there, don't something wrong with that. So we'll pay attention, huh? You love to wear people clothes. Well, we don't take consideration for that. We want to know that the thing must look like the person. So if it's a whole thing of other clothes, then we can't say it's your personal clothing, yeah? Especially if it's in commercial quantity. Let me put that in. Commercial quantity. Somebody say, oh. What's the process? When you go to the seaport, bring with you your national ID with your driver's license, your passport, and your TRN if it's not your driver's license number. Then you'd go to the shipping agent first, and you'll make your payment there, and you'll collect your shipping documents, your bill of lading, and the customs declaration C86, on which you will make a personal declaration as to what you have in your barrel. So you will state on that declaration. That is what you're saying to customs, that this is what I'm importing. So if you give us a declaration for X, and when we go in the barrel, we find Y, that is called a false declaration. Yes? You proceed to the warehouse where the goods are stored, and you make another payment there. So that's the warehouse keeper. And then you proceed to customs. When you make a payment at the warehouse, your goods will be located. Then you go to customs with your shipment. If you're traveling and you know that you have an allowance from the airport, as I mentioned it earlier, you would go to customs, to the supervisor, and then they will do the verification of your allowance there. Then you proceed to the clearance point, right? And you take with you invoices or receipts if you have them, even though it's personal shipment. If you have new items in it, you have your television and you have other appliances and whatever it may be, and you have your receipts, walk with them, right? Because we need to verify. As for the person who has $300, we want to verify that you have, what you have is in line with your allowance, right? A basic personal barrel, that was another question that was given, it's a rate of $6,500. You therefore make 3 payments: the shipping agent, the warehouse keeper, and to customs, if your allowance cannot cover it, or if you are not a person who traveled, right? If you did not travel, then, and it's a barrel, then you'll be required to pay the $6,000, you are with me, $6,500. If you did not travel and you have 1 barrel, you are required to pay the $6,500. If it's 3 barrels, it's 6 5 times 3, and so on. Note carefully, people. The warehouse keeper is totally responsible for the goods until it's presented to customs upon your arrival. If the warehouse keeper cannot locate your goods, then they will have to compensate you and also pay the relevant duties and taxes if it's missing. So that's a requirement, and the Act supports that. Customs take possession of your goods only if it was detained or seized. So say, for example, there are items in your barrel for which you could not pay the duty, then we'll have to detain it until you can pay. Or if you had those restricted items, then we'll detain them until you get the necessary permits, and then you'll be cited, of course. Or if it's an item that is seized, then we will seize that and take possession of it. That's the only time in those cases that we take possession of your goods that are imported. The only other place where customs has sole responsibility for your goods is at the Queen's Warehouse, and that is for overtime goods. If it's on the port for more than 14 days, it is sent to the Queen's Warehouse, which is operated by the government of Jamaica. And we have 3 of those in Jamaica. 1 in Montego Bay, SIA, 1 in NMIA, and 1 at 230 Spanish Town Road that does all the seaports. So the 1 in Montego Bay does sea and air, 230 Spanish Town Road does the seaport, and NMIA, Queen's Warehouse, does the goods that comes in. The overtime takes the overtime goods that comes in by air. What do I need to clear a shipment? We alluded to that earlier when I gave you the process. Your TRN and valid documents, bill of lading, your C86 good declaration, your receipt, and your passport and flight information if you travel. If you travel and you have an allowance, your passport is a must. Your passport or the receipt from the kiosk. It will come up later as well. Your receipt from the kiosk, because we know that immigration nowadays, you don't have to go to an officer, you can go to a kiosk, right? All right. If you travel, you may not have to go to an office and they actually stamp in your passport. They have kiosks in the hall, and you go to the kiosk, and then you get a receipt from the kiosk, which you present to customs, and then you'll need to have your copy of that, as well as your passport, to verify that you actually travel and the time and date. I just spoke about that, receipt from the kiosk, and any other authentic document to further help to verify the value of your goods. what if I can't make it to collect my shipment? You write a letter of authorization to giving someone over the age of 18 permission to come and clear that shipment on your behalf. You take a copy of your passport, your driver's license, make a copy, and you also put a note, and you get that signed by a justice of the peace or notary public. And that is to ensure that the person who is given, the JP is signing to say that this person before me is the named person on whatever shipping documents or whatever documents is presented to me. And then when you sign on those documents and they come to us, it should be the same name that is on the shipping documents that is presented, that is before customs, right? So you're giving that person authority to come and do business with you, with customs on your behalf. And we mentioned in the case of the passport, you have the page with the landing stamp. So the page with your details and also the page with the landing stamp or the chaos receipt received in the immigration hall. How can I pay for my goods? Cash. And that is Jamaican currency. Foreign currency is not accepted. And it's cash up to $1 million. If it's more than $1 million, you need a check. We also take debit and manager's check, that is. We also take debit cards, credit card, and for those cards, the name on the shipment must be the name of the person on the card. Otherwise, you have to speak to authority. And I mentioned earlier, we do manager's check, and you can also make payment online. To make payment online, you can go through our IT department, you register, and then you can make the payment. You'll have the number for your shipment. You'll make a payment thereafter. Airport clearance. Goods arriving at the airport through the courier service or other freight forwarders are cleared at the facility at the airport. So there is DHL, there is FedEx, there's Amerijet, there's ShipMe, there's Air Cargo, which deals with Caribbean Airlines, there's AJAS, which deals with British and the others, and there are others there. So you will present your, well, if you receive the documents, because they may clear on your behalf, but if it's a case that you have to go, then you'll go to those places I mentioned, and all of them, there's a custom unit located at all those locations. When you're notified by the agent, this was just what I said. Commercial imports will have their import declaration. We call that IM4. Everything is electronic now, not a whole heap of paper. They just do it online and come with one page and their airway bill, right? Or they will request permission, if it's under the 5,000, request permission to do a simplified version of the IMS, which is the IMS, of the IM4, which is the IMS4 for clearance. And if they're charity, if it's a charity, we'll have your charity certificate as a whole. The charity is a whole different topic for another time. That's a whole different process. And your tax compliance certificate, invoices, applicable payment, your charges that you're expected to pay, I mentioned earlier in the steps. And we also alluded to this, that items valuing $50 $50 and under, do not attract the customs duty charges. However, it is known that individuals attempt to circumvent the system, and so they split the shipment so that the value falls below the $50. But we are vigilant and we look out for those situations where persons try to circumvent the systems, and measures are in place to deal with those. But your legitimate system, shipment that you went online, buy something on Amazon and it's under $50, you are not required to pay any customs duties. Couriers, just to name a few there, ShipMe, Mailpack, Go Global, MD. They provide individuals with an address overseas, so they have an address in Miami, and when you buy your items on Amazon I mentioned, you would ship to their address in the US, and then they would take it here in Jamaica for you. And I must put in a plug here for the post office as well. They have started operating a courier service of that nature as well. So they have a desk outside there where you can sign up. And you know the post office, we have hundreds of post offices across the island, right? So when I think they have about 13 points. You can stop with them and they will tell you about that. But they have a mailbox in the US as well. So when you sign up with them and you send your shipment to that address, the post office, they get it here for you and you get it, they deliver it to you. And who have better access than the post office? When items are detained for invoices, permits, then the customer, you go directly to the facilities for clearance and you bring the necessary items. And that's the time when customs will be in charge of your items, when they'd have responsibility for it. Once it's detained, then you are going to customs. Right? So the courier service would have presented your item to customs. Maybe they can't validate the value. Maybe it requires a permit. So then they would have it detained and you will get your relevant permit, your invoice, and then you would go to the customs area. Or you may even, if it says for value, you could send them the invoice and they could still clear on your behalf if you want them so to do. And we mentioned about detention, packages without permits and invoices will be detained. Post office clearance, small items, parcels and packets comes through the post office, and you heard her earlier that customs is at the post office. Parcels post, we call it as well. There was a time when there were 3 locations across the country from which we would do examinations. Kingston, Montego Bay, and St. Anne's Bay. So the shipment would have been sent to those locations, that shipment for those regions would have been sent there and the examination done there and then delivery. But in recent time, well not recent, a couple of years, well, quite a few years, all the examinations are done at Central Sorting Office on South Camp Road. So they do all the examination. Doesn't matter where in the country the packages are for, the examinations are done at the parcels post where there's a customs office, a customs unit there. The examinations are done there and then disseminated to the post offices across the island. If there are discrepancies, the post office communicates with you and you make the appropriate response. For items in and around Kingston, you may go to, close to the Central Sorting Office, you may go to the Central Sorting Office to do those pickups. Packets and parcels, as with the airport, for the post office as well, packets and parcels under $50 are free, right? And please note that when you're told that the package is at customs, because when you go tracking, it tells you, once it gets to Jamaica, it tells you customs. When it says customs, it does not mean that customs has it. That's in our physical possession. What it means that it's 2 things. It's either that it's processed or that it's been prepared for processing. So it's after that is examined and the applicable values added, and then it is handed over to the post office for distribution across the island. But once it comes in and you see customs, people calling to say customs have it. And the processing takes a little while. That's for regular packets and parcels. Parcels are sometimes detained for invoices, permits, and must be, and etc. And these must be submitted in order for clearance to be done. And contact, we have the post office contact there and their email address. But if there's a requirement, they would write a letter to you. If you have a parcel and there's something that is needed, they would write to you and tell you what is needed. And for the post office clearance, similar documents as with anywhere else. You must have valid ID, your taxpayer registration number if it's not your driver's license, and the other items as for clearance anywhere else. If it's commercial, your tax compliance certificate. And charity certificate with declaration. Since we're not talking about it, I'll just mention a little. The charity certificate is for those organizations that have been so registered as a charity organization. And you have to register with the Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Society. They are somewhere up at Musgrave Road. So and with that, you'd pay no duty on items that are for a registered charity. But I can tell you, it's a tedious process. It's a lot that you have to go through to have that certification. So some charitable organizations across the island, they satisfy the requirement of same, and so they have that privilege. It's really a privilege. All you pay is half, whatever customs administration fee is applicable, they pay a half of it. But it's a tedious process, and you have to maintain your registration. You bring the certificate and your declaration, and you are entitled to that shipment. But note that you may have a family member who come in and they know that some children over in Milk River, they're needy, and so they pack 4 barrels and they come and they say it's for charity, and also it going no work so. That you'll have to pay your duty on. You have to be registered with the Department of Cooperative and Friendly Society to benefit from that, to receive that benefit. And on the customs website, which you all got, there are information about those organizations, and their addresses can be had from the website as well. Some tidbits to remember. Be prepared to inform the supervisor or the officer that you traveled and that you have an allowance. If you go to the wharf and you just present your documents and go through the ropes and you don't mention that, and especially in this case where you won't have a C-27, so an officer won't see you with a C-27, you have to make sure you remember to communicate that you traveled and that you have the allowance so that it can be verified. Right? Any person wishing to benefit from the allowance, whether you live in Jamaica or not, you must have a TRN. You must have a taxpayer registration number. We've mentioned earlier about the flat rate of 6.5 is charged on regular barrels. If it's more than 1, you multiply. And the barrel must contain basic personal items, food, basic household items, clothes worn or new, small household appliances, and other household tools. Barrels can be tall, short, small, big. The flat rate applies. But you don't carry one this size container the size of these two and say it's a personal shipment and you're entitled to the 6.5. It don't work like that. Specifically, when it was thought of, the idea that the commissioner was expressing is that for those persons coming with their barrels, and we use the term, it's barrel, so boxes not included. So if you travel and it's boxes, if the officer give you a box, maybe if she look at it and she probably say, all right, this is the size of a barrel. And when she examines, she realizes all your personal effects. The supervisor may say, yeah, let's take it based on what you have in your allowance. But that in itself is a discretion. The idea and the allowance applies to the barrel, a flat rate of $6,500. And we know, say, that can't pack one barrel in these days. That may have been a long, long time ago. $6,500 is just over $50. That's all. Just over $50. $6,500, yeah. Just over $50. Can't pack a barrel. So it's an allowance that is expressed to all Jamaican residents and others who are importing barrels with personal and household effects. What are my obligations as an importer? I am obligated to give accurate and complete information concerning the goods imported. And Section 209 of the Customs Act will deal with that if you fail so to do. It's for false declaration. If you fail to declare the items that you are presenting to customs. So on the C86, the tell we say it's just some used clothes in there. And when we go in there, we just see pure brand name and the value gone way out of league. Then that is false declaration. And the penalty under Section 209 of the Customs Act is $500,000 or 3 times the value of the goods, whichever is greater. The beauty of it is that the Commissioner of Customs, if you so choose, may mitigate the penalty on your behalf, and the law gives her that authority. Section 219 of the Customs Act gives her the authority. Based on the situation that is presented and how we said the case go, she has that authority under the law to apply a penalty of from 0 to the maximum of 500,000 or 3 times the value, whichever is greater. The law gives her that authority. But you have to appeal to the pleasures of the commissioner for such to be applied. But the penalty for false declaration is 500,000 or 3 times the value, whichever is greater. So if what is in the shipment is more than 500,000, then it's 3 times the value. If 500,000 is more than what is in the shipment, then it's 500,000. Answer truthfully any question raised by the customs officer. Answer truthfully any question raised. Don't bother try to outsmart customs. Because you see, I wasn't as an officer. If you tell me the truth, sometimes I turn fool. And I will try to see how I can assist you. But you see, if you tell me lie, no sir. Me draw the book and the page and just leave them out on you. And it's the same thing with any other customs officer. If you're honest, they will do whatever they need to do. But when you have to search, when you have to dig and find anything, when you have to search and find it, you get nothing out of me that way. So it's important that you be honest for more than one reason. Provide proof of accuracy for the receipts and invoices that you submit. Under WTO, we are required to calculate a duty on the price paid or payable, not what we think. In the past, we have the haphazard measure. If you come and tell us that you pay $100, and when we look and we think that is more than $100, we could charge you. But once you can prove, now the burden of proof is on the importer to prove that what you say you pay is actually what you pay. So if you come with that item, and no matter how you look like $1 million, if we value it for the $1 million and you come with your invoice to say it's $500, and we validate, we are satisfied with that invoice because we also choose, not choose, we have the right not to accept an invoice if we don't believe that it's correct, right? But once you can prove and you have all the evidence to say that this is what you pay, then customs is obliged to accept. So it's important that you walk with your invoices. That, ladies and gentlemen, Sean down here telling me hi, that presents the total of my presentation.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Naomi Goldburn-Rodney, manager for the Kingston Wharves at the Jamaica Customs Agency. Put your hands together for her presentation. Do not leave, ladies and gentlemen. We have some giveaways. Plus, you will be feted afterwards. We have meals for you, so do not leave just yet. Bear with us just a minute. We are coming down. So now we have the question and answer segment. If you have any questions, could I get a runner with a microphone? Lloyd, calling. Calling, mic not working, mic not working, calling. Right. This is mine. We have to keep this one, but that one isn't working. See if we can get a mic from. Don't stand in the center aisle. Please just remain where you are. The microphone will come to you. Remain in your seats. And the microphone will come to you.
Check one. This one is up.
All right, so the question and answer segment, Mr. Kingsley Henry and Mrs. Goldman Rodney will be fielding the questions in addition to our resource personnel. We have the legal team, we have the deputy commish, we have the directors and senior directors, so we have everybody on board to ensure. Okay, so we'll be fielding the questions from the persons here. We have some Facebook questions, but we'll be taking some questions from the persons here at the venue first, and then we'll take some other Facebook questions, seeing that we took some earlier. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening. First of all, I don't hear.
No, go ahead, sir.
I don't hear anything speak of customer service. And I think the word custom have a very serious relationship with customer service. Okay. I want to bring to your attention something that happened definitely in my presence. I have to accompany somebody to the wharf to take 2 barrels. What had happened when I reached there, I realized that there were some items in the barrels that they think was not supposed to be in it, and there wasn't any receipt on all these things. But what bothered us was that the custom officer that was dealing with us told us that we have to go to Ministry of Agriculture to get a permit. And they then sent us all the way to from Wharf all the way up to Hope Road. And when we went there, when they look at the information given to us on a piece of paper by a custom officer, they said, but they are not the one, they're not responsible for these items. So it's not them. Anyhow, I couldn't get no information. So then a friend, well, not a friend, but somebody who I know came in, the office at Old Hope Road, and said to me, I must go down to New Kingston because there's an office down there that they had a problem once and they have to go down there. I drove all the way down there. When I went there, the lady at the desk said, no, this is not for us either. So I took up my phone and I called over the wharves. And they said, oh, we have made a mistake. So you have to now come back to the wharves for you to get the right document, and you have to go to Coconut Industry. That's on Waterloo Road. So at that time, time is running out and traffic in Kingston. So I couldn't get back over to the wharf. So I had to travel all the way back to Clarendon. And I went there the next day. When I went there the next day, I got the document after waiting for hours. And I went to Waterloo, and let me use this opportunity to thank the persons at Coconut Industry at that time, because trust me, they were so kind-hearted and customer service was up. Anyhow, I went back over. When we went back over, this enormous amount of costs come up. And when it come up, I said, no, man, this cannot be right. So I said, I want to speak to a supervisor. To my surprise, the officer said, I'll have to go down that lane and down that and down that, as if she didn't want to tell me where the supervisor was. But to my greatest surprise, when I found the office, her office, and I went there, she had me sit down in the office, and then she do about 1 million things. And then she come to me, and when she come, she said to me, say, okay, what? And then she tell me some things now that I have to do. And when I go through the process, it was also not right.
All right, we're going to have to keep the questions a bit. Hold on.
Yes, so I am saying.
Just we must keep the questions brief and get to the point in the interest of time so that we can address them and give other persons an opportunity to ask their questions.
What I'm coming out here with is that because of the attitude of the custom officer.
So you feel that the customs officer's attitude was not professional?
Was not professional.
Okay.
And also the misinformation.
And the misinformation
that has given to us.
All right, sir. And if I were If I were in your position, I would feel the same way. And so let me, on behalf of the Jamaica Customs Agency, apologize for the misinformation given to you and for the time you wasted.
Right. I want to say
also, let me advise you, though, that under Section 210 of the Customs Act, if you were to import a restricted item before first obtaining the permit for importing such an item, it constitutes a breach. Allow me to finish, please. You ask the question, let us address it. Right? So under Section 210 of the Act, it constitutes a breach, which comes with a pecuniary penalty, which comes with a monetary fine.
Right, we know.
Right, no.
That was not the point.
No.
We understand that.
You understand that.
And we never have a problem with that. The problem that I'm trying to bring out here is to say the information that we got is putting us in dilemma. And then when I went to get to the Commissioner of Custom to work out the situation, it was another, what you call, blockade.
All right, so what we're going to do. Okay, sir, so what we're going to do.
This can't be.
Right, I agree. So what we're going to do, you being here, we're going to consult with you after the forum to find out where this happened, which bird, because we must prevent that from happening.
Remember now, you said you're at this forum to get what has happened.
Yes.
And to get information.
So today, right now, here, sir. So you don't want to be helped.
Here for. Anyhow, it's okay. And that's the reason why we can't reach where we want to go to correct it.
No, sir, but we're trying to help you.
All right, let me just
sir,
say something.
No, hold on. You asked a question, sir. And I said we're going to get to you after today here now, so you can give us the information, where you went, so we can find out which customs officer you dealt with, so we can prevent any recurrence of this in the future. All right, sir? Thank you so much. All right. Who has another question?
Sir, no, let me just address that. Sir, it's unfortunate, but where I'm going, or what I would, and our managers are looking at that. When somebody come with a situation and they're required to go to another office, I know personally what I do. Before I allow you to leave and go all over the place, I will do the necessary contacts. And then when I'm sending you, I send you, if I speak to somebody, because I have most of the agencies, I have a contact. And I'll speak with that contact, and I'll get a name, and I will send you to a name. It's just yesterday I was dealing with a situation. And as a matter of fact, I had the person speak to the person at the Ministry of Health and send them to a name. And I would be distraught if I were in your shoes. And that is where we want to go. In terms of customer service, we make sure, if we're not sure, we need to find out exactly where you are to go and then direct you in the right path so that you don't have to go all over the place. And there are times, and yes, you have that experience, but we are doing everything we can to make sure that we don't have repeat of those. If we're sending you away, send you directly to where you need to go.
Thank you, Mrs. Rodney. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Christine Hendricks. With regard to inspections, what I want to know if there is a protocol in dealing with persons with disabilities, particularly those who may have prosthesis. When you're doing your searches, is there an established protocol in dealing with persons with disabilities?
In terms of dealing with a person with prosthesis, are you talking about search of content or search of person?
Person.
Search of person?
Yes, because the prosthesis would be the person's leg.
Right, so there's a general guideline.
When they come as a passenger to the airport.
So there's a general guideline for search of persons, right? One of the guidelines is that a female can only be searched, for example, by a female officer. It is also within the right of the person being searched to request that they be taken in front of, in this case, until the law has been repealed or in place, in this case, you request that you be taken in front of a senior customs officer to plead your case as to whether the search is justified or not. Searches, the other thing is that searches are not conducted or ought not to be conducted in an open space. So you're supposed to be taken in private, not by one person. That's the other protocol, that if a search is being conducted, there must be at least 2 persons present for that search. So we don't have a specific protocol for dealing with somebody with disability. There's a general guideline. So one of the things that can happen, if there's a specific protocol that you are recommending for us, then there is a means. You have Miss Manning's contact, so you can communicate through Miss Manning that guideline, and I'm sure it is something that we'll take on, since you work with the community and you have that knowledge as to how best we can approach such a situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hendricks. Our next question.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, after.
My question to you is that if we have a past students association from a particular school who sends a barrel for us, do we get some concession in clearing this barrel? Because recently we cleared one, and the books and pads that were in the barrel, they could not even pay the fee that we paid to clear them.
That you have a trust, the Ministry of Education has the National Education Trust, and that's because you did not get the relevant information. And the National Education Trust communicates to customs. You would go to them, and they would validate your ability to get that benefit, and then they would communicate to the collector of customs, the senior director who's right here, that you are entitled to same. We see them every day from the different schools, and you would have been entitled to that allowance. Once it's books and other stationaries and supplies for the school, you would have been allowed. You would have had that benefit of that allowance and not to pay the customs duty.
So what if we take the school's TRN?
That alone, no, you have to go to the Ministry of Education, to the National
Okay.
Education Trust.
Okay, thank you very much.
That question, we're going to take that question. Brenton, we take that question quickly and then.
Good afternoon, everyone. Merveline Carney Russell is the name. I happen to travel to New York, and I shop in the stores and also in the flea market. Now, I notice when I buy a suit in the store, I might pay $100 and something, $150, $160. When I go to the flea market, I buy new clothes. I might pay $50 or $60. Now, when I come to customs, I will not have a receipt for the one I buy in the flea market, and it's going to look new. What do I do?
Even though it's the flea market, when we ask you, remember you have it's your personal clothing or it's commercial? Is it? Personal clothing, right. When we ask you the value, and because we have an idea, because we shop too,
That's
and
right.
we go flea market too, and
Happy
we go
for
to the
that.
stores. So we have an idea of values. When we go through your shipment, and we would have taken what we are satisfied would be the $500, then whatever over that you'll be required to pay. So it's not necessarily that one suit. If it's one suit, then it will be within your allowance. If it's a $150, still be within your allowance. If it's a suitcase, then we would assess the value based on your allowance. As long as it's not in commercial quantity.
It's not in commercial quantity, but it might not be one. It might be 3 suits. And sometimes,
to be honest,
if it's 3 suits, I don't know of the custom officer whether if it's even $1,500 unless you have the tag on it. I don't know if the custom officer would look at 3 suits and tell you that we're going to charge you for it. Oh, because
unless you have the tag on it for the $1,500, then that's a different matter.
No, it's not going to be at it at the flea market. Sometimes there's a tag on it that says $199. That's not the price you pay. I pay only $60. But sometimes they are not as nice as how you sound this afternoon. And I'm being honest to you. I can remember seeing your face there because I visit very often. But they are not as nice. So please, customer
it's
service.
It's a work in progress. We're still, all right, let me say this. There is a thin line between customer service and authority, a thin line. And for customs, we are into law enforcement. And so it's a learning curve that we are on. Look here, there's a different thing. It's a different thing from manners, because
Yes.
I remember a trainer said you can't cut people and put manners in there, right? But apart from manners, there's a thin line with the law enforcement and customer service. Sometimes we come off firm, but we are learning because this commissioner is on to customer service, and we are getting there. I'm sure when you come to the airport last time, you see more smile and person smile like the talk through now.
A little bit more, but not much. Thank you very much.
Even
a little
that.
bit, yes.
Even
So
so.
you're working on it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, good
we have a question here.
Good evening to the
Afternoon.
team of the JCA. Welcome, and
Thank you.
to those who are here. All right, I have a few questions, so bear with me. That's why I'm here. Because sometimes I call you guys, I can't get through. All right. No, first of all, I just want to say that I have imported a car and I had no problems. You know why? Because I made the relevant phone calls to find out all the things that I needed. I spoke with a registered person, is a registered custom broker, and he gave me all the information. So when I got everything done, after I purchased the vehicle, I went online for my trade license, everything. And I had nothing to hide. I didn't lie. So when my vehicle came and I went and paid and whatever, may I have it right out the park from January, may I drive my car. No problems because I found all information so that I have no problems when the vehicle comes. All right, now, let's get into the question. You said that persons who go abroad, like really traveling on the sea, once you come back, whether you're yacht or whatever, are fishermen also supposed to report to customs when they come back? I'm talking fishermen, regular fisher folks who go out there. That's question number one. Question number two, now, bear in mind, when a person is coming back from the States or anywhere and they have money on card, not cash, must that be declared as well? Only cash must be declared. If a person is coming from abroad with money, debit card, should that be declared? And tell us the items that must be declared. As for the 7-year thing, you mentioned something about coming back to do something. I want you to elaborate on that, because don't coming back from a vehicle after 7 years, which sell by then. Black Friday is coming, right? Yes, and some of us will love to go online, Mr. Wallace, and buy those cheap TV and all of that. So when me go online on Amazon, I will me see this TV for 800 and not sell for 400, and me decide to buy it online. And you know, I have my authentic receipts and so that when I go to collect, you gonna tell me, say, oh, you get it for 400, but the value is more. Tell me more about that. Did you understand the question? Those who are, and before you go, the first one was fishermen returning from wherever. Do they report?
So let me answer that in two ways. If the fisherman is operating within Jamaican waters, no.
If you go over,
right?
like
so if you
Cuba,
go outside the Jamaican waters, you are required to report.
Okay.
Right. So you're required as a vessel that has traveled overseas and is returning. You're required to report. The challenge that we have, and we'll acknowledge it, is that Jamaica is an island, and so you have various fishing beaches at which fishermen will go to see and return. And the fact is that we do not have a presence at all of them. One of the initiatives that Jamaica Customs has been working on in partnership with the JCF is to create marine bases at strategic points to assist us with the monitoring of fishing vessels and other seafaring craft.
Right.
So that's one.
You said that you don't have to declare credit or debit cards containing US dollars or whatever, right?
So
you're not.
So I spoke about cash, but the best way to put it is monetary instruments, because one of the things that we will hold on to, are the money cards. So there are persons among us who understand that if it's cash, customers are interested in it. And so what we have seen, and we've seen the trend over the last few years, is that people get the people overseas to put money on these cash cards or debit card, whatever you want to call them. And then they send them. And if you send them the thing that custom does, particularly if you send them through the post or whatever else, we will hold on to them, and you will have to justify the existence of those cards and where they're coming from. So the short answer is yes.
The 7 year, after 7 years, you can now come in and explain that.
So the law requires you, if you are a business, to maintain your documentation that you would have used in transaction with custom for 7 years. You're required by law. So we take it that within that period, you are required to maintain it, because customs, for whatever reason, commercial businesses. So we take it that within that 7 year period.
Only for commercial?
Only for commercial, for businesses, established businesses.
Black Friday deals.
I'll let
that.
Mrs. Rodney
And
respond
Mrs. Rodney,
to that.
before you answer the Black Friday deals, there was something you said about that allowance of, yeah, you said for Jamaican persons who want to benefit. Can you elaborate on that?
$500?
Yes, elaborate
Every
on that.
person who travels, you're entitled to $500
If
every
you don't
time.
travel.
If you don't travel,
don't
it's
have to.
6,500 for
Okay.
your barrel. 6,500 times 1, 2, 3, depending on the amount of barrel.
All right.
The Black Friday deal.
Yes, tell
you
me.
recognize them if you have your receipt. If you have your receipt from Brandsmart, Walmart, wherever, once you have your legitimate receipt, and not one piece of paper where mark cash and the dollar put on it, your authentic receipt, we are obliged to accept it. Once the receipt is valid, we don't have to verify. If you tell us that you buy it from Amazon and you don't have the receipt, we will even give you a computer to go on your account and show us, and we'll accept it.
All right, there's a question at the back before
Mr. Barros.
No, hold on. What you were saying?
No, may I? And a side question was kind of raised in relation to the, let's put it this way. The onus is on the importer, the passenger, the traveler to provide proof that what you say you pay is what you pay. The customs officer can, for example, take it that I went to the flea market and I got it for 40. That may be true. But the question is the other person that came and said may not be telling the truth. So therefore what we require is evidence.
Right.
And even when you provide the receipts, we have a right to ensure that the receipt is authentic, because our experience tells us that is not every receipt that is presented is authentic. And I'm saying it, I'll say it again, we're not out on a witch hunt to get people. But if you come and you present, there's always a recourse. If at the first point you are dissatisfied with the interaction with the officer and you believe that your document is valid, we have processes. You escalate and you escalate until you are satisfied. Sometimes you may not be satisfied, but you escalate as far as you can get.
Right, and section 18 tells you that the onus is on the objector, you, the importer, to prove that the value that you're declaring or complaining of is indeed valid. At this time, I'm going to be calling LaDonna Manning, our Director for Customer Service, to come as she has some special presentations.
I have to just break just for a minute to do a very, very, very special presentation to someone who actually has to leave. She's going all the way back to Montego Bay. But when we started this engagement in St. Elizabeth in May 2017, the Montego Bay team led by our able Jacinth Mighty, Jacinth, come to the stage here. They started with us. They started this initiative with us. And for every single engagement that we have had, the Montego Bay contingent and the drama team has been with us, and they have been totally committed to the cause. They've been reliable, and Miss Jacinth Mighty here, although she did not want to be at the panel because she's someone who likes to be in the background, she directed the entire play that you see come out. She did the script from start to end. So let us give her a big hand for that. And for this Jacinth, which is why I came to take you out of the bus twice, because they have to go back. But, and they usually stay to the end, but they actually have to go now. The Customs Minister Committee, the members of the Customs Minister Committee believe that you are the person who must get this basket, and we're giving it to you. Mr. Kevin Carter, he's going to be the person to actually write. Both Mr. Carter and Mr. Mackenzie Kingsley, Mr. Kingsley Mackenzie Henry. Mr. Henry, come to man then. Come, man. Come. You carried it thus far. Right in the middle. So on behalf of the Customs Meets the Community Committee, Jasons, we want to thank you wholeheartedly, sincerely from our hearts, for just really supporting the team and really putting your heart into it. So this is for your team, yourself, and your team members. Walk good and get home safely. Thank you.
So, all right, so we're going to be taking 3 more questions. What? Yes. Okay, over there. All right, so we take that one from Brenton, then Brenton on the back, then we take you. All right, and then we're coming over. All right.
Okay,
All right. All right, we're going to oblige you. We were worried about you that you wanted to eat. Oh, you mean 3 is too many? I should limit it. All right, so let me get them out of the way quickly. You are a young boy, man. Which part are you, old and disabled?
Okay, all right, I really thank God for today, unknowingly, by word of mouth, and what you had in your booth today, I have learned a lot, and as life goes through, I will remember. I have 2 questions to ask. One is going to the customer officer's location, and the goods that I have is overweight. What will be done to the one that cannot be in my luggage? If I should take 30 pounds, and when it's weighed, it's up to 50 pounds, what will happen to the 20 pounds?
Where are you coming from? You're leaving Jamaica?
Yes.
Or leaving a foreign country?
Leaving Jamaica.
Leaving Jamaica to go abroad?
Yes.
That has to do with the airline. Yes, that has to do with the airline, all right?
Okay.
Not customs.
My suggestion, when you go to the airport, make sure that your family don't leave until you check in, so you can give them back.
All right,
because
so
if they have left you, you're going to have to throw it away.
All right,
the
so
airline's not going to keep it
next
for
question.
you.
Okay, the other question is that, take for instance, I am overseas and I'm sending a barrel to Jamaica, and I ask a relative of mine to receive the barrel. My name is written and it is coming from me. Eventually, who is the owner of that barrel?
The barrel is sent to your relative.
Yes.
You are the consignant.
No, it's sent in
to
her
you?
name.
Yes.
Sent in your
and she
name.
asked her relative to collect
And
it.
you ask a relative, and you are where?
Overseas.
The relative can't clear it on your behalf unless you're going to send that letter of authorization.
Notarized
Get it
to the
notarized
letter.
abroad and send it, then the relative can clear it for you.
After being cleared by the relative, eventually who owns it when it gets to Jamaica?
That's between you and your relative. You tell the relative what to do with it.
Okay. All right.
So,
thank you.
All right, thank you. We take this question and then we go over there.
Good
Brenton,
evening,
make your way.
everybody.
Oh, him? Yeah, and it's a long time he's been there, yes. We'll take him, you, then him, and then you come over here, Brenton, with the microphone. Go
Good
ahead.
evening, everyone.
Afternoon.
Is it true that the fee at custom, and I repeat, true, the fee at custom will be increased this year? And if so, what benefit do you have for customers when clearing items because it's already expensive to do so?
What fee?
There's no
The
indication.
same fee
There's
that
no
you're
indication that any fees will be increased this year. None.
We
have not yet been informed.
Going around.
It's being
going
branded
around.
about?
Yes.
Okay, I guess customs is the last persons to hear about it. All right. Next question.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. I just want to know as simple as why wet sugar cannot be exported as wet sugar.
Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Marlon Lowe.
Which? What? Where's the person who asked the question? What are you calling wet sugar?
Wet sugar is the 100% original sugar. That's what the slaves used to leave from Africa, come here to do.
All right, so there's a process to import sugar. First of all, export. For exporting sugar. Sugar, you will need, it's a restricted item to be exported. Dark sugar. So you will need a license, and also the Sugar Industry Authority will get involved. So you can't just get up and say you are exporting sugar. There's a process that you'd have to go through. So I don't think that you can't do it, but there's a process that you have to go through to do it.
I am not talking about just sugar. I'm talking about wet sugar. Do you know wet sugar, sir?
Yeah, but I don't know that it is banned from being exported.
It is banned from being exported as wet sugar.
Right. Right. What we'll do is take your information and we'll do some more check on that.
Thank you very much.
ladies here, right? The microphone is coming. All right, he's late in getting to you, so let us take yours in the interim.
Good evening. I am
Afternoon,
Everton Smith. Post office. Parcels sent to a person in Jamaica. Where do fee permits and invoice is concerned here?
If whatever you bring in, say for example, Ministry of Health, say it's prescription drugs, right? And it requires a permit, then we would detain the item, the Ministry of Health person would come in, so it would necessarily say to you, they would come in and deal with it there, and then whatever the result, then would communicate to you. Say for example, they say that you can't have it, then the post office will communicate to you that you can't have it. So the Ministry of Health would come in that case. But if it's something that is required from you, say for, what was you said, permit and what? Invoice? Fine. Say it's an item that we cannot, on the shipment, there's no value, then we may communicate with the post office that the value is required. They will communicate with you and you'll provide an invoice if you have it. If you don't, then custom will assess a value on it.
Another question, please. You mentioned it, countries custom check at the airports. Those countries checking on their countries, countries office on their countries' behalf. Sorry. Do they collaborate with Jamaica Custom?
I'm not sure I understand that question.
Suppose England, USA, Canada, France, their offices conduct custom search by their custom agency.
And things coming to Jamaica?
They should, yeah, because you said it, they are placed at the airport. Is that what you just said? That you have several custom agencies at the airport.
You mean DHL, you have different, the courier services.
Right, you have the cargo section and the passenger section. You have the section at the airport that passengers come through and you deal with passengers there. And you have the cargo section where goods, barrel, boxes come. But all those areas at the airport are manned by Jamaica Customs Agency
so DHL,
staff,
FedEx.
customs officers employed by the Jamaica Customs Agency.
All right, thank you. If I may ask another question, why is it that
oh yes, just give them their final question and then we go
value, say, barrel fees and the value of the items within, instead of, say, by weight? And for example, suppose a person have several barrels.
Right.
Those barrels, it will take time to do all those manually. As the presenter said here, they have a scanner. But how effective? You see everything in that barrel. Why is it that you don't go by weight instead of
a lot of things will have to be borne in mind in doing those examinations. We will look at the barrels, where you're coming from, we'll do an interview, and based on the information that we get from you, it will determine how far so it's 5 barrels. Will we tell to take out all the things out of all 5 barrels? Only if we have reason to think that, to suspect something. But other than that, we'll do a cursory check. So we'll tell you to take out some of it, because when we ask you certain questions, we want to know if what you say you have in the barrel is what you have. We want to ascertain if you are telling us the truth. If we have reason to doubt what you are saying, so we ask the question and we have reason to doubt what you're saying, then we'll decide if we do 100% examination, 50% examination. That's all I can say.
Discretionary.
In that case, yes.
But 14 days, what happens if you don't check all 12 in 14 days?
14 days we don't check all?
Yeah, because it said that 14 days a barrel
no,
is
different thing. Different thing. If the shipment is on the port for more than 14 days and you do not come to clear it, so your barrel is here and either you were not informed or whatever, but you did not know that your shipment was at Kingston Wharves. After 14 days, it becomes overtime goods and then it is liable to be moved to the Queen's House. It may not move within the 14 days, but then it is liable to move to the Queen's House.
All right, thank you so much. So we take that question over there from you. Go ahead, just tell us your name and go with your question.
I'm Cecilia Campbell Livingston. I'm a director in a charitable foundation. Right? I have my charity certificate. And I want to find out something. Our church, which the foundation we are interested in starting a social enterprise. Somebody overseas volunteering to give us whether new or used tools. They want to send a barrel, but I want to find out first. With the certificate, will I be facing a big fee to clear it? And in terms of if somebody wants to bring down something for the foundation, but it's not through the wharf, it's on a plane, does the certificate work with that? And if so, how?
Define social enterprise.
Okay, we have some unemployed in our church and some at-risk youth. We're trying to get like WACA and stuff like that. So how we would work it is let them use it and put like a contribution in the foundation. In which case we'd use it to get more, to get them engaged.
Okay, in that case, when you applied for your charitable status with the Department of Cooperatives and Friendly Societies, you had to submit what is called objects and powers. Within that, it sets out exactly what you're going to do within the charity. Right. If the items that you're importing falls within the object and powers, it is fine for clearance, utilizing the charitable certificate.
And the second one is, what if somebody giving the foundation toys, but it's not coming via shipment, they're taking it through the airport?
If they're taking it through the airport, then we can detain it in the person's name, care of the charity, and then you go and clear it.
Okay, and the final thing I want is an experience we had. My pastor, who is also a director in the foundation, she went to Adolph Levy to clear some stuff we got for back to school. And the custom officer there, he told her that some of the church people on the talk about say, carry goods for free and sell or not sell it. And he ignored the certificate and charged her the full amount. When she went to pay, she had the certificate and the cashier guy said, this don't look right. And he went back downstairs and he got it adjusted. That custom officer, after doing what he did, he left. And it was the cashier who actually adjusted it. What do we do? Suppose the cashier didn't rectify it. What recourse would we have had?
Well, firstly, if you had that experience on behalf of the Jamaica Customs Agency, we sincerely apologize. However, the cashier cannot make an adjustment. Right, so it has to be with the supervisor. So it's not the cashier who made the adjustment, but the vigilance of the cashier led to the adjustment. However, I must point you back to what I said originally. If the items being imported do not fall within the object and powers, what you're set out to do as a charitable organization, you cannot get it utilizing the charitable status. So it's something that I would have to look into to see exactly what you are importing and to determine whether or not the officer was correct in the first place. A back-to-school event doesn't... Right, yes.
Because we have cleared it time and time again. With the certificate, we had no problem.
Okay.
It was just that particular...
And it was in the name of the charity?
It was in the name of the charity.
All right, we can talk afterwards. I'll take information and I will look a little bit more into that one.
Right, and concerning the pronouncements, you said the unfortunate pronouncements made by the customs officer. If you ever encounter anything such again, there are always supervisors for you to speak to. You just do not accept it and don't leave it at that. Because when you leave, sometimes things get skewed, right? So you deal with it right there and then. So if someone were to make those pronouncements to you, quite unfortunate, then you seek redress from a supervisor, manager on duty, so that it can be dealt with there and then. All right.
Good afternoon. Shelley V. Lumsden is the name. Simple question as it relates to the allowance. Say I go abroad to visit family, friends, and they want to give gifts that are personal. I don't have any receipt, and it probably exceed the allowance amount. How do you treat that? Because I'm at the airport with my 2 suitcases or so.
We would...
Continue. Oh, continue. You finished? No.
When we do the assessment, if we are satisfied that it exceeds the allowance, because even though it's a gift to you, it unfortunately it's not free. So whether you pay or pay, the transaction value is the price paid or payable. In your case, it's what is payable. You did not pay it, but it's payable. So after we have done the assessment, if it exceeds the $500, and within our experience, we can do the research and experience can ascertain a value, and then you'll be asked to pay the difference over the $500.
If it's the barrel, it's the same thing, same way you treat it?
If it's a barrel you travel and you have your allowance, if you exceed your allowance, then you'll be asked to pay the duty on the difference. So say, for example, when you go on the port, you have $100 left or $200 left. And what we see in the barrel would have been over the $200. You'll be asked to pay the duty on the difference.
I see.
Or you get your entire
I
allowance.
traveled and I was unable to understand because I had 2 barrels and I was told I'll pay
Pay duty on one.
6,500,
Mhm.
but I ended up paying about $18,000 for, yes. And now that I'm hearing all of this, I realize that I could have made some kind of inquiry to find out.
That
probably-
sounds like the content, maybe the contents of your bag.
But they were all sale items. You leave it in winter and them sell for $5 and all of that.
Contents of
But
the bag. the
let me just add, whenever you go to customs, you have a right to query. So the officer is finished and you're not satisfied, you step it up to the supervisor.
Yes.
The supervisor done and you're not satisfied, you step it up to the manager. The manager finished and you're not satisfied, you go to the director. You go up the level until when you finish, you might not be satisfied in terms of getting what you want, but you must
would have sought
understand
redress.
why you're asked to pay what you're being paid.
Good night. Janet
evening.
Foster, the name.
After.
I am hearing just now that your credit card and debit card can be confiscated. I'm expecting a card through the post office. Over 3 months now, the bank sent it. Is it possible that it is confiscated?
Kingsley.
A bank from abroad sent it. Yes. And until now, it has not been received over 3 months.
It would not be confiscated, you know. So confiscation is, for us, means that you're not getting it back. Unless a judge orders that you should get it back. That's what confiscation means. But what we might do and what might have happened, and if you have not gotten any notification that says that we have, then we have not. Because if something is coming through the mail, a credit card or debit card, and we have a query about it, then we will hold on to it. We call it detain. We'll hold on to it until. And the post office will communicate to you that custom has held on to it. So if you have not received that communication, then we can't say that we have it. Because if we have it, then it should have been communicated to you by the post office. Right. And it doesn't mean that you're not getting it. Sometimes you understand what is happening in the wider society, but if you come and we have a question and a query, and you are able, as I'm sure you are, to justify and to explain that this is my credit card from this bank and this is my relationship with the bank, then you will get it. But there's no evidence.
Okay, I have not received any.
And my colleague is pointing out that as a matter of practice, we don't necessarily hold on to credit cards from bank. It's usually the payment cards that come from other agencies. But if we hold on to it, we would have sent a notification through the post office. Okay. All right?
Thank you much.
So you can check at the post office.
Right, she said it was sent off by the bank. Right. What? The Lord is sustaining you though, for you got 3 months without the card, eh? God is your sustenance. All right. Do we have any more questions? All right. No, there being no other questions, calling LaDonna Manning. There being no other questions, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. LaDonna Manning is coming with another special gift presentation, and also she will be moving the vote of thanks. So don't bother run and leave with it. You hear? She'll be moving the vote of thanks. All right, and then we will be leaving here. Reverend Canon Winston Thomas is not here. Naomi, maybe you have to go pray the closing prayer.
Ah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this particular individual is going to be extremely surprised. As a matter of fact, before I do that handover, my customs meets the community persons. Could you find your way inside, please? If you are not actively engaged, possibly at the catering booth or the display section. Customs meets the community personnel. please make your way inside the hall and at the front of the hall. Thank you so much. And the persons that are part of the CMC committee are those of us who are wearing our shirts, this color. And I'm inviting our Senior Director in charge of operations, Mrs. Selena Clark-Graham, to make her way to the stage at this time. Mr. Henry, could you do me the honor of just passing that basket for me, please? This person started with the Customs Meets the Community Committee from the get-go, also with us in the parish of St. Elizabeth. This particular individual has stayed committed to the cause. This particular individual has never said no and has always risen to the occasion. And we want to welcome Mr. Sean Burrow. Burrows. Yes, Sean, you are getting the basket. You didn't know. We want to welcome Sean to accept this gift from Mrs. Selena Clark-Graham on behalf of the Customs Meets the Community Committee. You have just been so awesome from the get-go. Yes, we know you didn't know, but we had to just give it to you on this leg. Thank you so much, Sean. You've been awesome. Members, team members, all. Customs Meets the Community members, Lloyd at the back, Steve, Brenton, Megan, Tashana, Odette, Samantha, may you all come here for me, please, at the front. Quick with your steps. Trisha, Natalie, Redwood. Mrs. Chambers, you should be up here. Our Senior Director in charge of Executive Services. This is the team that makes it all happen. It could not happen without them. And as chair of the committee, I am so very proud to be a part of this awesome team. And so I will now move the vote of thanks to say it's no longer good afternoon, but it's now good night or good evening. Good evening, Clarendon. The curtains have come down on this our 6th parish engagement here in the town capital of Maypen. It is indeed a privilege to say thanks in this forum because I am standing on my own soil in the parish of my birth and residence, and she does not know that I'm going to do this, but to testify to this fact that this is true, I'm going to ask my mother, Mrs. Angela Jones-Sims, to stand and wave your hand, Mommy. Yes, my mommy is here. And Miss Rose, my neighbor, thank you both for coming. I must first give thanks and honor to God for allowing us to be here today and to undertake this initiative. On behalf of the Commissioner of Customs, I express sincere gratitude to everyone gathered here today. Residents, some of whom are still outside, came from the north, south, and central Clarendon, covering areas like Vere, Lionel Town, Sandy Bay, Freetown, Mineralites, Thompson Town, Tollgate, Denby, Four Paths, and of course, Maypen. Longville Park, woohoo! Yes, thank you so much. Your presence is appreciated. A very special thanks to our program participants, Mr. Anthony Wallace, Mr. Mayor Winston Mirage, the representative who represented our MP Mike Henry, our MP caretaker, Ms. Jalika Jess, who have left, and our pastor, Reverend Gary Knowles, and Reverend Winston Thomas, who actually had to go, but we thank them for having come here. Dr. Christine Hendricks, I absolutely thank you for staying to the very end. Thank you for coming out on this leg. We appreciate it. A very special thanks to all our invited guests from the various entities, groups, schools, and institutions within the parish our booth participants, and our partners for today, the Post and Telecommunications Department, and the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. It was a pleasure to have all of them here today. Thanks to our presenters and resource persons from Customs, and to Ms. Ferguson from the Central Sorting Office. Thanks to you and your team, Parsons Post, for reaching our customers right here in Clarendon. To the special performers, even though they're gone, I have to just raise my hand and hats off to them, the MAPEN unit class for the deaf. We thoroughly enjoyed their piece, and as we continue on our journey, we always seek to add value to what we do, and their rendition today was part of that. Mrs. Stephanie McIntyre Groves, excellent as usual. You started with us in Westmoreland, and you're here again with us today. Thank you so much. Our nurses on duty, they actually volunteered in the medical booth, and we had persons going over there taking their pressure and their sugar test. And they are from the Dixon's Geriatric School of Nursing, and they absolutely volunteered to be with us today to offer first aid assistance. Thank you. Our in-house choir and drama team, respectively led by Jacinth Mithley and Carlos Henry, we thank them for having been here today. They added life, fun, and laughter to today's proceedings. And also, I am not sure if Flabber, our 2018 Civil Service winner in the DJ competition, is still here, but he added a lot of mix to the matter, and he made he caused us to enjoy the first part of the segment before the session actually began. Mr. Mackenzie, come please, show yourself. Thank you so, so much. He is the parish manager here at the SDC office in Clarendon, and the team there in Kingston, the teams in both parishes worked with us from start to end to ensure that the mobilization went out and the persons came out. We want to thank you, Mr. Mackenzie, wholeheartedly. Hats off to you and your team. To the always reliable JIS team, woo! Yes, as well as the RGR Outside Broadcast team, we appreciate that both entities were able to take our message to our audiences throughout the length and breadth of Jamaica and within the diaspora, on air and online. And to Reverend Winston Thomas for allowing us to use this venue to host the event. And of course to Oral Walters. He's not here today, but we call him Fathead. He added, trust me, a touch of, this was gold. He transformed this all today, and we want to thank Fathead. So Natalie, please relate that to him, please. To the hard-working, passionate, committed, ever-present Customs Meets the Community Committee. Thank you, guys. Once again, we have done it. To our management team and the staff from our different locations, Mobe, Portland, Kingston, we know with heart that our commissioner, Mrs. Velma Ricketts Walker, wanted to be there. She actually blocked the entire day today, but due to unforeseen circumstances, she's not here. So we just thank her for that. We continue to leave footprints along our journey across the various parishes as we seek to inform, educate, and entertain. Thanks to everyone for being here today. Walk good and safe journey home. God bless you all.
Thank you, LaDonna. How could you not have... Here's your portfolio. How could you not have told me that mommy and neighbor are in the house? Mommy? Mommy? Right. Mr. Kevin Carter is coming to pray. Mr. Kevin Carter, director for Marine Wharves, is coming to do the closing prayer.
Okay, just settle down for a second as we give God thanks. Let us pray. God in heaven, we give you thanks that we were able to be here today to meet in this fashion. Thank you for the accommodation by the citizens of Clarendon, God. And we pray your blessing upon them. I pray, God, that as we go now, you guide us safely, protect us from all danger. Continue to bless this initiative, and may you be with us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you so much, Sir Carter. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for accommodating us. God bless you. Walk good. Blessings. Miss Rose. Come here, Miss Rose, neighbor Rose. You never get a gift, Mike. And Dr. Hendricks. Come here, Dr. Hendricks. Where's Miss Rose? Come here, Miss Rose. Miss Rose. Dr. Hendricks. After you're done, hook up Vanna Black. Come to me. Where's neighbor Rose? She not reach up here yet. Oh. Put your hands together for Mr.